I did start the stream. I didn't change any of the things on the stream. I should probably do that to like, hey, I'm going live with this. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
I'm so
tag
good
us
at
as
this.
Burning Wheel so we can get 2 viewers.
There's that. Can I show this publicly? I don't know. I'm going to put this over.
Board.
I'm going to put this over here because I don't know if I can show it publicly. Edit stream info. Burning Wheel session 0. Oh, yeah.
We are live.
Also, I had the dumbest name idea for our show.
If Boom Dust?
No, it's if we go with your idea for the setting, Indigo, it's Burning Wheel Remnants, because we're just going to keep using the name over and over again.
Jesus Christ. We're that's going to be the like keyword for every campaign.
We could, instead of most people put the like brand name at the beginning of their shows, we put it at the end because we're cool like that. Okay. Minimizing that. This is how the stream will be during most of the thing. How is audio? Probably quiet.
Audio sounds fine to me.
Okay.
I'm
probably
testing.
Actually, which mic is this using? Is this my good mic? Good, yes. There we go.
Yeah, like from what I'm hearing, it sounds fine, but I'm also like not very audio centric.
Okay. Then let's do a very quick round of introductions, as this is a start of a new show. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Burning Wheel. We're playing Burning Wheel. I am Spencer, or Primarch. I have played Burning Wheel before. I did a single year-and-a-half campaign with Zen and some other players. It was very fun, very long, very much a learning experience. We started off way too D&D-like, and finally bumbled our way to how it's supposed to be. And I've played a few one-shots. I've GM'd both during that campaign because we do rotating GMs, and I've done some one-shots since, both as a player and as a GM, and I still find Burning Wheel to be... I think it's the type of game that gives you the most variety and experiences compared to most. And it's built for that. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that until the end of the whole campaign. Who are you guys? Also, I'm a player character.
Everybody speak at once. Since I was mentioned, I'm Zen. I will be herding these cats on this adventure. I played with Spencer for a year and a half, and yeah, it was a bumblefuck at first, but we stumbled into doing it correctly, and hopefully this time we can fix the problems and move forward correctly. I exist on the internet. If you look for Zentropy Zero, that's probably me. That's really all I have to say.
Oh,
I will go. Oh,
going.
You can see we plan these shows.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Totally unscripted.
I play games. I write games sometimes, and I've owned this book for well over a year. I've never played it, so let's move.
All right, I will go next. Hello, I am Jordan, aka Killer Pond, aka the player formerly known as Ein. And
just a rune.
just a rune. And yeah, I've been playing games with Spencer for a long time. What, like 5 years?
I think.
No.
Yeah, I think it's close to that because it was.
Jeez.
We started playing shortly before I started moving out on my own, and that was about 5 years ago, I think.
Dang. Yeah, I've very limited experience with Burning Wheel. I think I did a one shot that you GM'd, Zen, in the tavern with the witch.
Yeah, Words Remain Below. It's a excellent one-shot adventure for anybody looking to get into Burning Wheel.
Yeah, but I have very little experience in making a character, so this will be fun. I normally like to look at how you make a character in a game before,
That's the first thing I do.
Yeah, I look at that first and I go like, oh, okay, this seems interesting. And Burning Wheel is like, hey, would you like a trait that is literally like you like drinking bee honey? Then go for it. Or would you like a skill that is literally all about astrology? Go for it.
Astrology's the best skill. Best skill, whole game, astrology, MVP.
Oh, I chose not to take in one of my theoretical characters. I'm like astrology. Nah.
I didn't have enough general skill points, but
I had it in our last playthrough. I found deception to be a hell of a lot more useful.
Falsehood
Like,
is
work
so
astrology
good.
in with deception.
Falsehood is amazing.
Yeah.
If you want to convince
Anyways.
someone, just try to convince them of just like say the opposite thing, or something like that. Just like
we're gonna
Well, let's turn our attention to the new to us player.
the
yes.
fifth person.
Hello, I will jump in here. My name is Marissa, or Benvolia, or Cool Dude 19967. That was a name that was picked up by my 7-year-old brother and just hasn't gone away. I happen to be Spencer's wife, which is one of the reasons that I am here. I have not yet played Burning Wheel. I've played a bunch of D&D with friends and whatnot, but I'm rather excited about the concept here.
This is
Well,
throwing your
first things first,
marriage in
we're
the
gonna all
gauntlet.
that D&D bullshit. We're throwing that out.
Throw the D&D bullshit away. Also, take your excitement and file it away because there's a lot of paperwork.
It's a lot of paperwork.
I'm a paperwork person.
Really
Yeah.
good. We can put you in charge of
She is.
notes.
So you get weekly recaps. You do the recap portion.
You do the weekly recap.
Does she get persona for it? Is that how that works?
No.
Does she refresh her?
No,
No.
this isn't
anything?
fucking
No.
Torchbearer. No.
No.
No, that's just your job now.
Oh, good.
If this was in real life, I would be the one bringing snacks, so other people have to do the recap and not
Oh,
me.
you better Venmo me a pizza, man.
I'm just here to make the
Cookies?
occasional popular culture reference to make people
That
laugh.
none of us
Yeah.
get.
Sadly, I do not think we have time for as much banter as
Yeah.
we might like.
Mm.
Again,
I know we don't
maybe
have
think
time
about a
for banter.
podcast.
Yeah, I don't have enough time for banter, but I do have to share the newest point of dystopian news. Tesla on autopilot crashes into cop car.
Oh, the machines are rising up against us.
It happened in the past week. It's very
Transformers
important.
movie is real. It's based on a futuristical account. Just the first movie with the cube and
Yeah,
then
Tesla
there's
Model 3.
all of the vending machines
trying out
becoming
the
hostile
autopilot.
killers.
Crashes into
Yeah,
cop car. It's great.
Not to go off on a tangent here, but I'm really hoping the car became self-aware and that cop pulled it over last week and it was going for revenge.
Give me a ticket, you little. Boom.
All right. Someone teach us how to play this game.
All right, so we're actually nowhere near playing the game yet. What we have to do first,
Yeah, this
is
whole
we
thing's
have
gonna be
to-
prep.
yeah, what we have to do first is define what's known as the big picture or the situation, the inciting incident that allows for the drama and strife in all of your characters' lives.
Wait, are we not doing
And-
the world first?
We start with the picture and then we build the world around it
Okay. all right.
because
Mm.
because the real important thing is the inciting incident, like what's making all of the turmoil and
Yeah.
stuff that you guys can take advantage of. So what I have on Roll20 is just a brief outline of how we do this. The tenets of building a situation. A well-wrought situation is interesting to everyone at the table, which is why we all do this together. It is a conflict that encompasses many fictional people, making it easy for the players to burn characters that are central to this long-term conflict. It gives players room for input and interpretation through their beliefs, instincts, reputation, affiliation, and relationships. And perhaps most importantly, a situation is not easily resolved, nor is it solved through any one straightforward path. In fact, there's no correct solution, only action. Now, how we do this, how we create this situation. You use your thinky brain and you come to the table with some exciting ideas. We've batted around a few offline. We get everybody to brainstorm. We write a list. We figure out what's good, what's bad, what we want to do, what isn't going to work, and we pare it down from there. we try to get inspired about other people's ideas. We roll them around in our brains and try to like springboard off of that, you know, and then and after that even though this is a friendly collaboration, we have to be merciless, kill our babies, and cut the ideas out that are sort of flimsy.
Okay.
Compromise and imagination is a big part of this.
Yep.
All right. I have a couple thematic points that I am interested in. We're talking about that, which would be lots of rain, sad saxophones, either
Okay.
literal or
Getting some Halo
just in the
ODST
soundtrack.
vibes.
It could be either one. It could be like there's actually saxophones. I'm fine with that too. 'Cause why not?
We
Or
fight
it's just
saxophone
a
mimics.
soundtrack with saxophones and just endless cobblestone. Like you're not walking through fields, you're not climbing mountains, you're just always going down cobblestone. So I was
Okay.
talking to a couple, the Primarch and Jordan earlier about it, but like Mega City Rome that then just got destroyed or like abandoned and not 100% occupied. So a lot of like walking through just abandoned medieval like roads and like so
Do we
many
want to
empty
have a lot of
houses.
traveling then?
Well, even if it's like I wasn't even thinking like a lot of travel, but just like when we do travel, it's moving through abandoned parts of this once massive mega city as opposed to like going through fields.
So
And
you're
the
saying
idea-
sort of a... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, the idea of like nature is within almost this abandoned city for
Kind
ages
of
ago?
like there's like terraces with cornfields on them.
Oh, cool.
So
like an
like
like an
that.
You're
urban
saying, like,
medieval kind of weirdness.
almost a like post-apocalyptic like
Yeah.
megalopolis kind of thing.
Yeah, but the
But it's
megalopolis
like-
was Rome. Like Rome level technology was the megalopolis. Then Rome fell, but they didn't like remove all the cobblestones, and you walk from like district to
Yeah.
district and stuff. But districts take like a week to walk between.
Like a ghost mega city thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
but a ghost medieval mega city.
But
All right,
do we want that to be
I
the main
dig it,
focus
but
or more background scenery? I think we're talking about background scenery.
That's like third question down after we get through this.
I
big
was just
picture.
saying like my general thematic points that I was
Okay.
thinking for this.
Yeah, that's
Sad
fair.
saxophones,
Yeah.
rain, giant
saxophones.
cobblestone mega city. Those were the
We-
points that I was feeling.
So I will say what the closest to finalization, situation that we thought of, and then we'll check how we all think about it, what other ideas we have, things like that. But the idea is, we are a mercenary company. All of us are involved with a mercenary company that, just after taking a very questionable job, and after we have started it, our leader was murdered. We don't know how. And so we have to simultaneously decide on take leadership, decide who's going to be in control of the future of the company. And I think my idea for what that job was like morally like questionably occupying a town or a village or something like that, which would then give us a kind of home, like small
I'm all
scale.
down on the idea that we start post occupation of this small village.
Yeah,
I have a pitch for this. Now, the original idea was that the mercenary company has taken a contract with what history would view as the bad guys. Like you're working for the evil wizards.
Air
like,
quotes.
yeah.
and
Bad guys is subjective.
I did have an idea that perhaps the war is already over. Like you and the mercenary company itself is the reason you guys won the war, and now you're
Okay.
you broke the other army and it scattered, but you did not defeat them. So they're out there,
Yeah.
hiding as a rebellion.
Or
We're like the Empire.
We are. We're not the Empire. We're the Empire's hired guns.
We're the bounty hunters.
Yeah, we're like a bounty.
We're all
hunter.
gonna wear helmets and never take them off.
This is the way.
I wasn't gonna wear a helmet because I envision my character with a fabulous medieval bob, and I don't care what the character is, they will have a fabulous medieval bob.
Okay.
In that case, did the Empire or whatever have an army of their own, or was it like we were just the decisive unit?
You were the decisive factor, the
Or
major
the
force
Germans
of
that
the
were brought in to try to end the revolution, but went poorly.
the Hessians. Yeah.
Yeah, we're the equivalent of the Hessians in the Revolutionary War, except it went the
I
other
don't
way.
know the context for that. Who were the Hessians?
They
German
were
mercenaries the British hired to combat the Americans in the Revolutionary War.
Okay. So we're the like SEAL Team 6-esque, not that small, but like
No, we're
Still.
Blackwater.
okay, yeah.
actually, if you want to get technical, we're straight up ripping off the Black Company at this point, but I don't
Yes.
care because that's an awesome fucking series.
No
Cool.
shame. No shame.
But yeah, the evil empire, however we describe them later, will have, I think, lieutenants and generals with supernatural, fucked up, freaky shit going on,
Nice.
and that was the main force that the evil empire used to subjugate.
Okay. Totally not Inquisitors.
Yeah, and you guys were brought in both as, frontline ground troops to, like,
To
field an
support
army
the-
with.
Yeah.
And
But also,
as-
so people don't see monsters.
yeah, and as
Yeah, 'cause
troubleshooters,
it's-
sort of.
Yeah, because it's kind of this empire, it seems, wants conquest. We need another name other than empire, but we'll get to that later. Conquest, I'd say, rather than destruction. Like you want to like, we were gonna take over this place and have it flourish under us, even if forcefully.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We just
the
call it the
locals don't listen to the
hegemony.
bull, man.
Hegemony.
The
However you say that
hegemony?
word.
That feels too
Hegemony.
sci-fi for me because I'm used to
Ender's
encountering
Game.
in sci-fi.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be something like the Black Concordant or something.
I like it. I
Or
already
the
like that.
Concordant, or this Concord of Steel is also
The
good.
concordant of stars, if they're very magic focused.
Well, that also sounds sci-fi.
No,
Oh,
I'm
that's
fine with
fair, you're
Concordant
right.
of Stars. I'm fine with that.
The Court of Stars.
Court of
You could work with the cobbles from earlier.
Yeah.
The Cobble
Oh,
Concordat.
what if the empire was like what if the empire heads of it are like descendants of the like ancient king or something like that?
Ooh, it's
or,
like,
or the
It's a
Or-
reclamation of the big city is their crusade.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they're trying to
The
take over the
reclamation
entire
of the
big
whole
the
thing.
entire
I
but
dig
it's like
that.
a
I dig that.
country-sized city. And so
Yeah,
they would call
countryside
like
city.
the
the
reclamant?
heirs or something.
The reclamation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah, they
reclamation could
call
work.
it something grandiose, like the Holy Reclamation or the Reclamation foretold by the stars. or
Reclamation
something bullshitty
Crusade.
like that. Yeah, something like that. But they're trying to take it all back. But there's like 12 countries that live in that one city now, so it's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
murder.
Okay, I like all of that.
Zen furiously writing.
Yes. Let me know when
I guess what I'm trying to get my head around there is exactly how big we are. How big are we as a mercenary group itself?
We are what we were talking.
Would we just be
about,
like a cell within the larger group?
No, I think the mercenary company would be nebulously like Legion size.
Okay.
Like we don't see the background.
I was
foot
thinking
soldiers.
around
We're just the main
20,000.
character. Yeah, we're like the main characters of it, but the mercenary company's big. So like
Yeah.
we'll wander around and be like, I've never met you before, but we work for the same company. Hurrah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think probably like I would imagine the more people that we would see like in game would be part of our century, right? Like people with like our close proximity.
would like the leader that
We'd be a company.
if we want
We'd
to
be like a squad or a company within.
Yeah. We might not be
Yeah.
like the head super general of the mercenary
But we wouldn't
company.
be foot soldier level. We're gonna be
No.
Right.
above the
We're
ground.
we're
No,
middle
we'd be like
management.
sergeants and higher
Yeah.
or specialists one way or another.
Yeah,
Because
I was doing a little bit of research on because we said we wanted it pre-gunpowder, so I checked out the
Yeah.
100 Years' War. It was around 1350 or so,
Yeah.
and they could field about 20,000 men in an army.
Yeah, okay.
So
That's a lot. We'd be smaller than
That's
20,000 because we're a company, not an army. So we'd be like
was like,
1,000 would be
we'll
a
have
big...
it.
well, you're
Yeah,
also
1
you're
to
a company that is
2,000.
hired to win wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd be a couple thousand.
how on earth do we sustain that during not wartime? Anyhow, that's logistics.
Well, that's probably what's
That's
going on.
magic.
my
Our
job.
company has probably split up to occupy like the whole like border of this place, all of the borderlands, and now we're basically like part of the company, but we're like now the war's not going on. We're each cell isn't or squad or company isn't interacting
Well, be
with each other
companies,
as
and then
much.
each company would have different squads. Be like,
Yeah, exactly.
you do.
And so there's like more long-term messengers, but not as much. There's probably a bit of
Yeah.
internal conflict brewing. No.
Oh, fuck it, totally.
Oh yeah.
And
And as
there's a
to how
question.
you sustain the company, that's why you took a shitty contract for bad people.
Yeah.
How long have we been
Money.
working that contract? Like years, or it was a week and then our leader got killed.
Probably
well,
within the last year for the larger scale is my idea.
Yeah,
and then
within a
maybe
year.
like they've started deploying across. So maybe we have arrived a couple weeks ago or something like that, even though this has been in the works for like months.
Well, if
That's
if
what
it
I
was you
think.
guys that helped win the war, you might have been there a while.
Was it us
True.
specifically or the company in general?
The company in general, I'm referring to. Like
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
work
So
out the
the
nitty gritty
different
of how
characters could
senior
have-
you guys are, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
The characters could have arrived at different time, but the company's been there for a bit.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Heck, some of us could have transferred in basically because of
Yeah,
this
or
whole-
like,
there's
came
been
from
rumors
training,
of insurrection
and I got
here,
the-
and then
or like, I
as
got-
we're on our way, we arrive and like, oh, our leader's dead.
Yeah, we
Like,
came
oh
from
boy, I
training
can't
and
wait to get out of
we're-
basic, and then you go to the worst place ever.
I don't even think we're not on the front lines. We're not like
No.
mid-war.
No.
No,
I think
there's
we're like-
there
I
are
don't
no
think-
front lines anymore.
Well, I don't think.
Oh
I think
no.
this push is over, but I don't think the evil empire, whatever we're calling its quest, is over. Like, I
No,
don't
it's
think
just
they've
in this
reclaimed-
section. Like if
Yeah.
if they started from the center, which I'm guessing they started from like somewhere off center.
Yeah.
They've expanded in this section all the way. Like our
Yeah.
area, they're done conquering. But
Well,
there's
I
other areas
think
they're
it's
still
more
doing.
that they have concluded this push, and they said they're done for now. But we all know they're gonna start again later.
I like that better. Yeah, this
Like,
wave.
they're
I mean-
currently they're currently not at war, but you know, like
it's
they're
just
gonna
like
start
every
again
10
as soon
years
as they
or
get the
something.
money.
Every 20
As
years.
soon as they get the money and people together, they're pushing again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
just
imagining like
just going for those
uh,
warmonger penalties.
I'm imagining like sort of how the U.S. is operating in the Middle East, right? Like there's just occupying sort of forces, right? But there's
Yeah.
no like
We're an
grand scale
occupying
like
force right now.
Yeah.
We're an
Yeah.
occupying force right now, trying to get
Or
everyone
peacekeeping.
like, all right, sign
Back
up
to
for
work.
the evil army.
Start farming again. Have kids, grow them up, and send them to us.
hey kids, you want to get out of your shitty peasant life? Come work for the mercenary company.
Join the evil
We
army.
won the war. Who knows? Maybe you could be the next like war winner.
There's breadwinners and war winners. Which ones are you?
Which one are you? What are we naming our evil company?
oh, you're not necessarily evil.
Sorry,
We're
our
morally ambiguous.
Our morally gray company.
You're
Our morally gray company.
We call it the Gray Company, just if we want to go a complete ripoff.
there will be letters. Yeah, I mean that can be up to you guys to
I
name the
want a
company. I will.
jazzy ass name.
I don't have any ideas for names. I can't think of anything.
All of the online generators for mercenary company names are fucking awful too. So
Steel Eagles. Like metal plus animal.
The Crimson Sabers sounds like a pirate gang, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Crimson Sabers, because I think sabers.
Yeah.
What to search? I'm gonna search for a name. I don't even know what to look for.
Yeah.
The like material that's sticking out in my brain is onyx. Onyx something.
Yeah.
Does this world have trains?
No,
No. Okay.
it doesn't have gunpowder.
But you can have
Well, you don't need
trains
gunpowder
without
for
You
trains.
can. I
Trains
wouldn't
do
find
not-
it as easily believable.
Trains
like-
do not use gunpowder.
Everyone would even like subconsciously think you have gunpowder before you have trains, even if they're not technically related.
Yeah.
I want to. This is not Burning Wheel, but I do want to play a game now that has trains and not gunpowder because I think that's amazing.
I'm imagining like someone jousting on a train, but it
Train
on the
joust.
Like 2 trains. Just someone's like on each one with a spear and a
Yes,
lance each.
train
if we're-
joust.
If we're playing that game, I call steam-powered potato gun.
power potato gun.
Yeah, that's possible.
That's what
yeah,
you would
but
have
no.
too, like steam guns that have no range. You have to be within like 10 feet for it to work.
And they shoot.
There's
like,
literally-
massive-
There are Warhammer dwarves that are like steam, like they shoot steam guns, and like it's not fire. I
Interesting.
think.
All right.
I feel like they're in
back on
So
track.
just name
Let's
a
work on the
mercenary
street
company.
first.
I like Onyx.
Yeah.
Onyx. Guardians is too defensive.
Brigade.
The just because my brain likes alliteration, I went onyx ostriches, but that sounds so dumb.
Oh, I'm down. I'm down. Onyx ostriches. Onyx ostriches.
No, I vetoed that.
that.
I'm using my like singular. I was
Sounds like
GM previously ability that I have one
No,
left
I mean,
over
you-
of to veto that.
Okay, good, because that leaves all my vetoes intact. Because no, that sounds like some Legends of the Hidden Temple bullshit team.
Fuck, it is a legislative temple.
All right, we can come up with the company name later. We
Yeah.
are the mercenaries.
Or just the
from-
Onyx Legion.
Onyx Legion works.
Yeah,
We'll make that for now.
Yeah, a placeholder.
Yeah, I'm fine with the Onyx Legion. That's fine. That's sufficiently metal.
yeah, it's just metal enough without being too metal.
And
Yeah.
we're not specialists. We're large enough to win a war. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
All right. So what was our inciting like conflict? We had kind of like the place and like why we're there.
yeah.
Well, I think when you were dispatched to this town, something happened, and the person that was leading your squad was killed.
By a wizard. He was killed by a wizard.
I mean, look, I say at this point, unless we have something concrete to
leave
go
it.
on, we say that like your
We
leaders
don't know.
we don't know how they were
There's
killed.
no body.
There's no.
What
body.
if-
Oh, there's
So
even
I
no
had an i-
body.
So it wasn't something.
I had an
public.
idea as to
Right.
what might have happened, and also it would explain why the villagers hate us. My idea is
Can
that
they hate us? Can the
also
villagers
have
like
ideas.
us? Can we be friends with them?
Can we be friends working with an evil
I-
empire?
I want us
Individually,
to be not be
maybe.
friends. So my idea is that this
We-
place was
we-
like had a mine or something like basically the thing that killed our leader also crippled this village's economy, and we're not sure whose fault it was. For example, they went
Ooh,
there was like
leader
like
killed
rebel-
and mine collapse.
investigation of the mine because rumors that the rebels were working out of there, and then the whole mine just collapsed and we don't know what happened, but they're definitely all dead. Everyone who went in there.
I'm
Or
actually
something
really
where like the villagers are like,
I'm super-
"What are you doing? Our mine's screwed, and now we're gonna starve." And
I'm
we
into
are
that.
like,
I'm into
"What
that.
happened? Our leader's dead."
What do they mine?
It could be a mine. It could be something else. Mine's the
Obviously.
most obvious. Marissa,
No,
you
I'm
had an
into
idea
mine.
as well.
No, I'm
No.
down for mine.
I'm good with
because
yours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
mine makes it a militarily important location.
Yeah.
Which is why we would be sent to garrison it. Yeah.
it's not gunpowder, so we don't need to worry about like bullets or anything, but probably iron. It's like just
Yeah.
straight up like
it
an
might just
iron mine.
it's not something like unique or a super magical mine. It might just be an iron mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I
'Cause if it
worry
was
about
something
is
super-
the complete lack of bodies.
What if it's a gold
Yeah.
mine? Where like that pays us. That's how it goes back to them, but then they pay us, and it's how they
Yeah.
get their money.
No, I like something.
Iron
Even-
works too.
Iron.
I think iron is good just because, like, if it was something more valuable, I think it would
Yeah.
make more sense that the Empire, I'm just calling on that because it's placeholder, the Empire would garrison their own troops there rather than hire some.
Yeah, they
mercenaries
wouldn't.
to do it.
Send
That's fair.
the
They'd be less
mercenaries
likely
the gold mine to skim gold off the top.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Okay. Iron makes more sense.
And like
Okay.
I would say coal or some other like fuel source, but we're pre-industrial, so
Kobold in chat says an onyx mine, hence the name. I like that, but also we just arrived here recently.
Yeah.
But we probably have like use that as that's a culturally precious stone or something to us.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, we
Yeah.
all
like it's
have
used in
like
deck.
we all have like it. All of our sword, like all of the high-ranking
All of the
officers have an
pommels of
onyx
the swords
pommel.
have
Yeah,
things like that. Like onyx is totally everywhere in
we
our
have like a
decoration
black
and
stone
uniforms.
on our banner.
But I think an iron mine makes the most sense for this because that's why other people would be interested.
Yeah,
Um,
it makes sense to defend. Doesn't make sense to send your main army to defend.
Yeah.
okay, so
And I think we want to add, like, to make this an important place. Perhaps the other iron mines have been depleted during the war. This is a relatively new one,
that makes sense.
making it a bit
Yeah.
more important.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's important enough that you need people there to guard it, but not important enough to put your own people there. So, like,
Well,
maybe they opened up a bunch of mines, but this is just like one of the newer ones.
I think the main impetus for hiring you guys in the first place was that they just do not have the bodies to do this kind of thing. Like, they needed
Yeah.
the influx
They
of
need more
just
people.
with sticks, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
People
just
with
below
metal
the
sticks.
rung of, but we're not trusted to do important stuff. We're doing the stuff they don't have the people for.
we're the
Right.
outsourcing.
Yeah,
Yes.
we outsource. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so how does it? I wrote up a little thing for the situation. How does that look to everybody? Is that, does that encompass what we were talking about enough, and yet still vague enough that we can fill in details?
Top right.
Yep, that sounds good
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
down with that.
Where is it?
It's on the
Right
main
below
Roll20 page.
situation is here. I'll change the color of it. So I should have done that in
Yeah.
the first place.
I'm down for that. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Looks good.
Yep. I think it's good.
Yeah. All right.
And yeah,
setting?
we're good.
Yeah, so we can jump down into setting. We already answered question 1, because that's
Mhm.
What
what's
is
the
the
big
big picture? What's going on?
Mhm.
What's ripe for adventure? What's changing? Empire trying to take over massive citywide continent or continent-wide city. That's also why it's ripe for adventure. There's lots of abandoned like ruins and shit everywhere for like fiddling around in.
It's like
Fair.
a mega dungeon, but a
Like a
continent.
dungeon, but without a roof.
Yeah, without a roof.
Okay, now this next question is going to be a lot of stuff, but we only need to touch on each culture a little bit.
Mhm.
Now,
Okay.
first, I'd like to define the culture of the company, because that's going to be important.
The culture of the company, I think it's like another day on the job kind of culture where like people just do it.
It's
And
not
as soon
seen as
as we get back
particularly
to-
glorious, or
Yeah, it's not glorious. Like we're not a company in it for like we're not like for the cause or anything. Like when we get back to camp, it's drinking and playing cards and not like talking about the glory of the reclamation of the massive city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to think of it of like people that don't know what to do with their life and they're like, oh, there's a recruiter, I'll go join up with the company and like see if I have what
Okay.
like if I can do that. Like it's something that instead of
Wait,
working
is
on
the
a field,
company
you go
from
to the
this
company.
continent?
No.
Let's decide that. Is the company from the continent the Empire is trying to take over?
I would like to say that the company itself is probably from some free country somewhere. That's where
Okay.
it originally started,
So the company
and it's
Yeah.
just like gone global.
Yeah.
We're on
the
some
company is
we're
ranch.
not from here, basically. We're just
Yeah.
Or at least the company isn't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Like
the
you might
company is
have
not from
joined up
here.
from here, but like the company is not based here. So we don't give a shit about the people or the quest.
Yeah.
In some cases,
think-
the company a place to get away.
I have this again, stealing from other literature. I really like the Night's Watch angle of like people are sent to the company because
Yeah.
they've done some fucked up shit.
Okay.
And it's like,
That's
why
fair. I
hang
think
a
there's
good
also,
fighter if you get sent with the company?
I think there's also like an aspect of, because I don't want between the like criminals get sent here and people turn up if they don't know what else to do. I think it's still like quite professional, if that makes sense. Like it's still it's every day on the job, but it's not lazy and it's not
Oh yeah, no, not lazy.
they don't
but like
take advantage of things either. Not
No,
a lot.
we do the
I
job
think it's
to the letter.
yeah, and I think it's one of those things where the company you join the company if you do these things, but they leave your ass behind if you don't get in line. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A sense
Okay.
of professionalism.
Yeah, there's a sense of professionalism. Like, we get a job, we do the job. We don't go above and beyond, but like we
Without
get the
extra
job
pay.
done.
But
Yeah.
the contract is sacred. Like no one
Oh,
in the
yeah.
company would dare violate a contract.
No,
Well,
that will.
some would. They get stabbed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
that
gets
I'm
to-
saying as a general, like if you're writing the tenets of
Ooh.
the company,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
contract
Sith
is,
Master
like a number one.
mentions French legionnaires as inspiration,
Oh,
which
totally.
I'm not
French
familiar
Foreign
with.
Legion. French Foreign Legion all the way.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's a
You-
good.
you
That is a
change
very
your-
good analog.
You're
Yeah.
allowed to
Yeah.
change your name when you join the company. They ask your
Absolutely.
name, they don't check it.
I wonder if
Mm.
someone gave like a really stupid name when they joined up at like 14, and then now we're like stuck with it. And we're like, yes, I
Yeah.
know.
Now your name is
I'm called
Dante.
like Damien
Yeah,
Black.
there's Mike Hawk. There's Mike Hawk, totally.
There's probably like an entertainingly long petition to be able to change your name. Like you can do it,
Oh,
but
no,
you're gonna
there's
have
no
everyone.
No, there's none. There's none. You're stuck.
You're stuck.
I think when you get to a high enough rank, no one will question you if you fix it.
That's fair.
But there's not like a bureaucratic process. It's just like if you're a captain,
You're in the books
no
as
one's gonna-
this. You can go by something else, but you're in the books as this. And unless you like, you're not gonna get paid if you go
Yeah.
by another name now.
Yeah. On your tombstone, it's gonna say this.
Yeah, if you're a captain, you can just like go into the books and like cross it out and rewrite it, and then you're fine. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you get a certain level of privilege, like you can just make some strings happen.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you talk to the
Uh,
guy that keeps payroll.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else would they do? What would they do for like? Would they do anything specific? Like culture, I always think about food. Or like how
well,
else
I
would they
don't think-
behave? Do they have any specific
would-
games or like stories?
I think not strongman culture, but like it's not about who's the toughest.
But a
not
different type
about-
of competition, like
It
It's
Like, I
about
don't think-
effectiveness, I think.
yeah,
Like
effectiveness, but not about who's the toughest. Like there's not wrestling
Yeah.
or anything. You don't
Because
gain
if you wrestle, you
credit
might
for
hurt yourself.
beating the shit out of your
Oh,
coworkers.
we lost Marissa.
We lost your wife.
Okay. It's probably a computer issue. I think her computer
Yeah.
maybe wasn't plugged in or something.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't think feats of strength are like frowned upon, but
no,
it's
they
like,
happen, but like they don't
Yeah.
hold water. Like they're
Yeah.
not the most important thing. Like people
Yeah.
will arm wrestle, but for fun, not for like
yeah,
to
Yeah.
win over. Like
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think dueling is also illegal in the company.
yeah. You don't want your soldiers
No.
killing each other.
Yeah, dueling would be illegal, I
think-
think.
I think it was
but-
I think it was recently made illegal in the company.
Okay. I could see
it
training
was-
or like
Recently banned dueling.
that's fair. What do you think the company's stance would be on expanding your skills? Like how much like ability do you have to change what type of soldier you are? If a scout wants to become a footman or like foot soldier wants to become a crossbowman, like stuff like that. How much horizontal mobility is there? Like, or is it like this is your path, stick to it? Or is
I
it
think
more
there's
like, yeah,
actually
go
a
ahead.
great deal of changing around and stuff, because you're talking about a company that's entire being is about helping other people win their wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to
So
be
it's like
as
you
effective
talk to
as
your
you
captain.
can.
Swiss Army knife
You-
kind of thing.
Yeah, you talk to your captain and say, "Hey, I want to go train with crossbow dudes," so they send you over there for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
I
also
think cross training is probably like rote in this place. Like
Yeah.
that's something you just do.
yeah.
Okay.
It makes you more effective as a soldier, and also if you're like, I'm not happy being a footman, can I go be a crossbowman? And if you're happier, you're gonna want to do your job better.
Yeah, it's that. I think this is only because we're a mercenary company and not an army. If we were
Yeah.
an army, it's like you stay in line, you do your job. But because this is
Yeah.
a company and it's work, you just apply for a transfer, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to go to shipping now. It's like,
And it's
whatever,
usually
dude.
accepted and approved.
yeah,
Unless
I-
like there's special circumstances, like well, you shit on the captain who normally runs crossbows, so he's not gonna let you in. You pissed him off at the bar last week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That makes me think though, who would ever be like, yes, I would like to dig the latrine, sir. Like,
Oh,
who
that's
would want
so
that?
strong.
Oh, that's probably also mandatory. Like
That might be
it's-
something
yeah,
that
that's-
rotates
it's
between.
you're on
divisions.
that shift for this week. Good luck.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I mean, that brand new recruits have to do that for 3 months
Absolutely.
before they can
Yeah.
do anything else. You know.
You
Yeah.
take your lumps and then you can choose to be
You're
someone
in
else.
training.
That's
which
basic
means
training.
you
It
clean,
increases
you
your
wash dishes, you dig the shitters.
It's
you
it's
sharpen
literally part of the
swords.
footman like path as you learn soldiering, which is like, that's-
soldiering is the
Yeah,
soldiering is the
it's fair.
non-soldiery parts that you don't see in movies.
Okay,
It's
so
funny.
we've got a French Foreign Legion analog with the contract is sacrosanct. Is there anything we really need to cement in for?
Dueling is outlawed.
the-
Dueling is banned. I want that.
Yeah.
specifically.
I don't think we are involved in, but I am curious as to know how specifically their high leadership functions.
I was picturing a meritocracy where, yeah, the upper echelons probably don't change much, but you can go from a captain to a sergeant real quick if you screw up, or vice versa.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know which is higher, captain or sergeant.
It
Captain's
just
higher.
Captain is higher.
I was thinking just because it's a company, I'm imagining like a literal board of directors of the mercenary
There's
company.
Totally a board.
Yeah.
It's like a board.
And I think some of the leadership are not soldiers and have never seen combat, but their meritocracy is that they are really good at
Oh, they
business
run
and
the supply.
negotiations. Yeah,
Yeah, like there's-
administration,
Supply line.
negotiations, selling, land management,
Yeah.
things like
So, and I hate to make this analog, but it fits. So you're looking at like the IRA, like you've got the military branch of the IRA, and then you've got the Sinn Féin, the political branch. So
Yeah.
100%. It's the IRA with the French Foreign Legion entrance requirements.
that. Okay.
But
But I-
instead of fighting for a cause, we are fighting for cash money.
Mhm. It's better than
Oh,
working on a
Lulu
farm.
Zen? Oh no, we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good then.
okay.
For our company.
What is the culture? I don't know.
I want to know what the culture of the empire is at large, and then whatever, probably like town. I don't think it'd be as big as a city or as small as a village, but like town.
Yeah.
That we are.
Yeah, the
Or like
the region that has been taken over.
I
Yeah,
think the
like-
town should be Midwestern.
Midwestern. I like the term
Like
district.
friendly and
'cause when-
local, and we have just like shit on their like parade and like shattered
District,
their
I do
mind.
like.
because it's such a big, if it's like a continent-sized city, you have to break that down into like districts or blocks at least.
Well, I think it's formally continent size, but now no one can control the whole area, so there's still towns that are just
Yeah,
like
that's true.
like a few blocks within the
Yeah.
continent-sized ruins.
I feel like you wouldn't call it a town though. You would say like, oh, this is district whatever.
Okay.
I just
yeah,
realized, is
District
our iron
12
mine
or-
actually like a scrap mine that's like mining, like
No,
gathering?
I think it's an iron mine. I think it's a hole in the ground.
Okay.
Like an
Iron
actual
mine.
iron mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it was just a previously undiscovered
Maybe-
vein that they built some shit over.
Yeah.
Could be
They
that's
tore
why
the
it's so
shit up.
valuable, because like
Yeah.
raw,
Hard to get it.
non-scrapped, non-recycled
Mhm.
iron might be
Yeah.
like really useful and rare.
Okay, so do
Um,
we want to start with the conquered region or the evil empire as far as defining them?
Evil Empire, I feel like we all know what the Evil Empire is. It's evil, it's an empire, they're vaguely fascist.
They're like I think
Wait,
they are the
vaguely
rightful
or
heirs.
overtly fascist?
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
overtly fascist. They're all about evil magic, like air quotes, evil magic.
Yeah, they definitely are the rightful heirs. They probably have a lot of reclamation, like return to
Yeah,
glory,
rightful
golden age
heirs.
propaganda.
They all kind of look the same because they're
Yeah.
all super,
like the people who are like from the capital city, whatever it is, like they all look like they are.
they
Very
all look
similar.
like they're from the capital city. There's cultural like looks. They're all
Yeah,
hashtag
like it's big
all-
enough that they would have like sub ethnicities.
Yeah. Where's the echo? Hey, happening.
I do not know.
Hello. I don't
Hello?
hear an echo. I don't hear an echo from anyone.
I heard it, but I don't know from where.
I heard it just
I
for a
might have
second,
been
that's
leaning
why.
too close to the thing with my headphones. It might have been
Okay.
me.
Yeah. Is there anything specific? I think despite their fascism, I think it's more interesting, and they're still supposed to be an evil empire. But I think they're really good at land management because they're even if they're evil, they still want to be a profitable
They're
empire.
a good
So they're
evil empire.
yeah,
they're
they're
good
an
at their
effective evil empire. Unlike in Star Wars, where the empire is like actually just bad. They're an empire that individuals may not like, but the collective profits.
Yeah, they get the job done. They keep everyone alive.
Yeah.
They don't specifically. I don't really want to play with like fantasy racism at all. So like they don't have like someone they hate.
I don't
They're
think
just,
so.
like,
No.
The thing they're very pro. They're like nationalist is their
Yeah.
fascist tendency.
And they almost have a
Yeah.
colonialist vibe to them of like we're gonna
Yeah,
go take back these these poor villagers out far away that have been like cut off from their heritage. We're gonna go give it back to them with swords.
It's not colonialism, it's reclamation. It's like we used to own this, let's own it again.
Yeah.
It's
Has it I because it's been so long, I see it that it's not ordinary reclamation.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
sure.
closer to Manifest Destiny. This once was ours, it will be again.
Yeah.
I would
just wondering
imagine
how
it,
they
like,
see people who aren't a part of them, or how do they see the opposing army?
They see I'm pretty sure they would like see the rebels or the people oppose them as like denying the progress of man. They're like
it's just an
inevitable.
It's inevitable they'll fall. You almost feel a sign of like bad for them mildly, but that definitely doesn't stop you from killing them.
Yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be, not the way that like.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're looking at some kind of divine ordinance, like.
Yeah, it's their cultural
not necessarily.
Heritage. Yeah, it's their birthright to reclaim all of this territory. Yeah. It's not like they're shunning the people that aren't part of them. It's just theirs, and it always has been and always will be, in their minds at least.
And at least for me, I like. I don't know if I like the idea of it because it's a bit too real, but if these people were sort of dispassionate about the other people that they're conquering, they're like, oh, that's just a hurdle in our next step. We just need to sweep them away.
Yeah, totally,
absolutely. It's still like it's the idea of like the progress this empire is more important than anything else. And so if they're in the way, then of course they're the ones going down. We're not going to change direction or anything like that.
But they don't even view them as something to hate. They're just I just need to move the clutter out of the way.
They're in the way of progress.
It's more just like they're just it is necessary. Emotion doesn't come into it. It's just like
it could be that done. Yeah, it could be that there's certain portions that they took over without having to bring in the military. This way, hey, you're ours.
They
now.
absolutely
like, cool.
are. Yeah, like there's if looking at colonialism and in this case reclamation, that is an absolute common tactic of like we'll do trade with them, we'll make them depend on us, and then after a few like years or decades, they'll eventually basically own them.
Yeah, I'm sure they also do the thing where they send like spies to the more established countries on the continent and make their countries fall from the inside by like fucking with elections and things like that.
Because at this point, I think now that this battle has ended and now like this war is won, the Empire's now has like gone past the tipping point where a lot of people are like, hey, they have won, they keep winning, momentum is going in their way, and I think that politically and socially they're beginning to snowball and have people offer to join them before they're conquered. Like I think it's beginning to be a social movement of we have to join them, both because it's good for us as a nation, because everyone seems to actually be doing well under them from a profit and production standpoint, and also because they're gonna conquer us before long. The Eye of Sauron will turn to us before long.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there
the-
a cultural touchstone that we can take from history, from fiction somewhere that we want to sort of ascribe here, so we get a general feeling?
I did not take history. I don't know enough.
I mean, the
I don't have
closest
a
thing
good one.
I could think of, as the resident historian here, hello, is like Crusades is the closest thing I could think of, but even then, that's like less. They saw the others as like heretics, right? This is less that and more like, oh, that's stuff that used to be us.
This is Spain.
Is what?
This
Yeah,
is
I
Spain
could see that.
Spanish
trying
Inquisition.
to
Spain?
reclaim Spain.
I
Like
don't
this is the
know that
Spanish
part of
trying.
history.
This is the Spanish Reclamation.
Yeah, the Reconquista. I could see
Yeah.
that
That's generally what it is. Where it's not
because
like
because they didn't really like even well.
this is the same idea, except
Yeah.
they have more right to it than the Spanish ever did. But that's a historical argument and not a
Yeah.
made-up fantasy argument.
That's fair. Yeah,
Okay.
because it seems like this evil empire also, it's not like, hey, now you have to like believe in our religion like the Spanish did. It's more like we rule you now, so pay taxes.
Yeah, it's the taxes go to us instead of to anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier, it was mentioned the idea that the leaders of this empire were monsters somehow. Is that a thing that we're going with?
Some like evil dark magic stuff.
Yeah, supernaturally empowered to some
Blood
extent. I
magic.
would love to get
Ooh.
some gray shaded skills in there because that's cool. But
Cthulhu Vader, like Darth Cthulhu, kind of like there's a
Darth
mix of-
Cthulhu.
yeah, I
Instead
think
of
like
a Vader Max, it's just like a Cthulhu octopus on his face.
I think you're gonna have in general you're gonna have an evil overlord that is like, you know, chock full of sorcery and death magic and shit. And under him or her or them, however we decide, you're gonna have
I don't
a handful
like doing...
of disciples, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not
Do
doing
we
the
want
rule
them
of
to have a
Vader,
religious
evil
undertone, like a
empire.
cult,
So
or
it's
would
not
they
so
be?
much the nobles.
I mean, disciples in a very general term. I don't know if they have a religious bent. I don't think they revere their.
I don't think we. Well, let's talk about that. Do we want to do a religion? Do we care about religion at all?
It's fair.
I'm not sure.
I don't-
One of my
I
character
don't
ideas
care.
was to include it, but also with the way that this is like the world is going, it was only like it was like my third idea. It was
Do
not-
we need to care? We can just
I
say
have-
now, yes or no, about if we care about religion.
I have
think-
one suggestion before we vote. That is in the codex there is belief in a dead god. Perhaps this world has nothing but dead gods.
That's
okay,
true.
that's really cool. Also, I think I like the idea that the Empire is just like they are with people, completely apathetic and disinterested in religion. They just see it as another like tool, but they don't actually worship. Just like they're
Like they have
entirely
the singular
utilitarian.
focus is the
I got a good
reclamation.
idea.
Yeah, and so
I
like
got a
yeah,
good
sure, the
idea.
villages can have their own small gods and temples. Just don't let it get in the way of anything, or we will burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
I have a good idea. All right. There was a religion before this all was ruined. The religion, like God, was like the spirit of the city or whatever, and this people trying to reclaim it aren't practicing that anymore. They have refused. They don't acknowledge him or whatever. But small little pockets still worship like this body that represents the massive city, like the spirit that keeps them all going in this big city. That is the only god that ever was in this area. They're dead now. They died when the city fell. But the big empire doesn't worship them anymore. It's
I
only in
like
the movies that people
The
pay
city
attention.
god a lot. I think the villages probably have more variety than all of them. Like, they all have probably their own spins on it. Maybe it was
Oh
one.
yeah, they have
based
their
off
own
of one
spin,
religion.
Small
but
gods.
it's all the same general
Yeah.
god. They have their own like practices revolving around it because the area is so big, but it all based on the same shit.
Marissa, you were going to say something?
In terms of religion, I tend to not like so much the very simplified one-tone religion. What's the word I came up with? It just
Stereotypical?
tends to become almost one-dimensional religion a lot. So when religion becomes complex and interesting, that's great. But when it's an obvious ripoff of, what we have and either good or bad, is very easy to stereotypical in a game, I guess. Yeah.
I feel you. Yep. I've seen that a lot. And yeah, handling religion and the depth of that can be a pain in the ass in these games
Yeah.
because that's like a lot of side stuff that could matter, but maybe not. So
Yeah.
I will say, if we
don't-
do go with a religion thing, and if a character has that faith, the fiction will be on that character.
I
Mhm.
think,
Not
yeah.
running
I
Yeah.
think it'll only be a big focus if we have a character that believes in that. I also
Okay,
like the
fair.
idea that I don't know if I like this idea actually. I like it and also dislike it. That maybe there's like some of the religion or some of the beliefs are that the god when it died like intentionally stole the like heritage away from these rulers, and that's why they don't worship anymore or something like that. We're like
So the rebellion's
it
religious?
was their birth.
The rebellion is the religious faction?
It might be. Like, it was their birthright, and it was taken from them rightfully, is what some people are saying. But I need to refine that idea, so that's why I'm just saying.
What if the evil overlord is the malformed shade of this dead god?
I was thinking some kind of avatar. Yeah, like it's just
We can discover that one through play.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Maybe that's
but
like
I think
he does say, like, oh, he's that.
The COD
I
couldn't
don't-
decide. Half of it left, half of it stayed as this malformed shade.
I
Yeah,
think
we can
that
figure that
would
one out
make
through play.
the religion part almost too strong of a focus. So I think we just don't know. Is what
Yeah,
we'll stick
we
with.
don't know. We will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
don't.
theories.
Yeah. All right, so
yeah.
So we know the evil empire and all their machinations. The conquered region. How do we want to?
Midwest, Western
Midwest.
hospitality. They wanted
Well,
the guys
beer and football,
we're
like-
strangers, but we're still conquerors. So they hate us, but still are within their bones need to be hospitable
What?
towards us.
Are they
Oh,
all
shoot,
going to be
you came in
passive
with all these
aggressive
dang
all the
swords, I might as
time?
well let
Is
you
that what
in.
they're going to be?
Yes.
Would you like some
I-
soup? Oh, I'm sorry, it's cold. Stuff like that.
Oh crap! Here comes the Golden Company again.
Last time they came through here, I lost 3 weeks worth of rations.
I
And
do really
we're
like
gonna go
the
hide the cheese.
politeness.
The
I like
cheese.
they strongly value like hospitality and politeness. Maybe
Yeah.
not
but we're
as
we're the worst enemy to them because
Yeah.
we just take it.
So they're fucking hobbits. Is that what we're going with?
Just hobbits.
Midwesterners.
Like part of their culture is to be super nice, but they respect that niceness in return. But the Empire, we came in and
We're-
we're like, oh, cool, thanks. Like,
Yeah, basically, we're not even
actually
the
yeah,
Empire,
that makes sense. Where half of it is like we're conquering them, and half of it is like cultural differences. We're like these guys are so nice, and they're all like.
Yeah,
They're
our
not
culture.
offering us
I'm assuming
anything.
because we're mercenaries. I'm assuming our culture is very much like you get paid for your work. You don't give things away for free.
yeah,
Everything's you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and this
Yeah.
place is like, you want some soup? And we're like, yeah, we'll take your fucking soup.
Yeah.
sure.
How many cauldrons do you have? 20? Yep, we're taking them all. Oh, it's
How many you
winter.
offering?
Sorry.
Tough shit. You should have given us your soup.
Yeah, you offered, sure.
How brutal was our conquest of this place? Because that might affect their niceness a little bit.
I don't
Yeah.
think it was that brutal. I think we beat back the rebels, and we didn't fuck with the village.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, if the
it's
war was
mostly
already
like-
won, this was probably behind the front lines. Like we didn't
Yeah.
encounter them until after the war was won.
And then
And
we
so
were like,
there
guarding the
wasn't any
mine,
fighting here.
and then our leader died in the mine collapse.
Yeah, I don't think
Do
there
we
was
have
any
any
fighting here
repu-
specifically. But
Do we have any reputation as the ones who ended the war, even as we come here?
Oh yes.
The company
I
would,
think
the
so.
characters would not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
by virtue of
this is-
belonging to the company, you are known as the deciding factor. I
both a
think.
terrible name because of the reference, but also I really like the nickname Warbreakers.
What? Wait, what?
The
What's the name?
I don't know. Warbreakers came to
Warbreakers?
mind for some reason. Some
I wonder.
Brandon Sanderson book, something like that about
Mm,
I don't know what that book
a
is.
powerful magical empire.
It is amazing.
Mm. It's a really good book. Anyways, I thought of that in terms of like we ended the war. Anyways, different, more of a nickname, or if we have like I don't know if it's more of a nickname that they'll call us separate from our mercenary company title.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure.
All right, so we've got for the conquered region, hospitable. It's like small town kind of vibes. I mean, I grew up in these places, so I know all of that shit. I know exactly what that means. Do I need to put any more words on this so you guys understand it?
I do not. I think that they probably very much emphasize like a right to bear arms and a right to like duels and settle disputes themselves outside of the law, as long as everyone is in agreement with it. And I don't think that the Empire accepts that. And so there's
Well, we're
a
not
difference in
Empire.
like
We're not
no, but we're
culturally-
enforcing their laws.
Yeah, but we're not. My point is, we're not culturally Empire, so we're not gonna
True.
give a shit.
Yeah, I think the more anti-dueling thing was more a company culture rather
Yeah.
than empire culture.
That one
because-
is yeah, but I don't think the Empire wants their people killing each other either.
I'm
well,
sure
it
the
seems
They're
like
efficient.
if they're
I think the Empire would be all about duels, like big honorable duels, like you throw your fireballs at each other, and whoever comes out the end wins.
yeah, well, because if the
Yeah, but-
empire is a singular focus on just reclaiming the city, and they view the inhabitants as hurdles, who cares what the hurdles do after you jump over them?
I guess the only reason I think they would care is
Mhm.
because then someone's dead, which means they aren't like mining iron for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the Empire, because we were talking about like the kind of like big. I always see evil empires as bureaucratic. I'm sure they have their own like justicars and law systems or whatever that I think would, for the point of story reasons, need to be different from the company's moral standing on laws.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I think
true.
we're all about like whatever gets the job done. Don't waste men. Don't waste resources. But the empire would be more about like, well, that's the spirit of the law. We're more about like we do our job and we don't waste.
Yeah, you're more worried about the wording in that contract than you are about any external nonsense that
Yeah.
gets in the way.
Yeah, we're not going to sacrifice men unless we have to, because men are a resource. Like our culture, I'm feeling it because we're a mercenary company. It's gonna be like we don't throw things away, we don't waste, we don't kill people
Okay.
that don't need to be killed. They can be used later. But the Empire might have different views on that, which
That's
could
fair.
be a neat.
It makes
source of
more sense if the
conflict.
Empire prioritizes the leadership, the those who have that birthright over everyone else, and it's there's a
And that would contrast our meritocracy.
yeah.
Yeah,
A
Yeah.
great deal, actually. Yeah.
yeah. The Empire would be it would be an aristocracy as opposed to the Onyx Legion's meritocracy.
Or is it a heristocracy? 'Cause
A
it's
what?
Heritage. I made it.
No, it's not a
really bad
heresy.
joke.
It's an aristocracy, and the
I
ruling
made-
class is that.
Oh, like
like,
I get it.
no,
Yes.
Took me a
you're
second.
also mixing up your prefixes, but still.
Okay.
So just so we can, as Westerners, feel absolutely terrible about the conquered region, are they formerly democratic and that's been wiped out now? Because I
Yes.
think that's
Yes. I think
Yep.
the Midwestern region used to have like a town chief that they voted on. Like they had a mayor who was elected by the citizens every 2 years they had a mayoral election, and the mayor used to have a city council, and those people all are still alive or important in the town, but according to
They
the
don't hold any
Empire,
real
don't have
power.
their job anymore.
Yeah.
Does the Empire itself, did they like send along one person to say, okay, you are now ruling
I'm
this
sure
town,
there's a
enjoy?
sniveling
There's absolutely like an
There's
Empire
a
rep
viceroy.
here.
No, there is
Yeah,
a
there's like a-
viceroy.
Yes.
because that is an
Viceroy.
evil title.
Or a
There's
governor.
like some
I like Viceroy
sniveling-
more though, more than governor.
There's like some sniveling low-ranking noble
moth.
from the Empire with like his 4 guards or whatever that like took over the mayor's mansion that live in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
And
mayor,
of course
the
it's
mayor
way
has to like
tremendously fat.
is still living in the mansion, but in like the guest bedroom.
Yeah, because it was just his fucking house that they took
Moved
over.
into the guest bedroom.
No, he's in the mother-in-law suite that's like right at the edge of the property.
Oh, that's funny.
I think it's probably like him and his whole family still live there. Like it's like even more embarrassing.
I think they were just kicked out. No, I don't think the Empire would let the people that used to live there live
Listen
in the
in.
like ruling house. They were just like fucking
That's
kicked out.
fair.
So now they're living with like friends or something, but they're still in town and people
They're still
care
like
about them.
widely revered as like the rightful leader of people's hearts in terms of how things should
Yeah.
be.
But they're still in town, but like they'll get killed if they try to like make any big moves.
That's yeah.
I feel like in that case, you would want them in like that mansion, right? Like you just go like, "Hey,
It
you know
depends.
how to
Yeah.
talk
Do you
to
have
the
them under
people."
watch there?
Oh,
Or-
maybe
yeah,
like in the
they're-
servants' quarters,
I mean,
maybe.
you're talking about a region that's known to have rebels, so of course you're going to keep all of those important figures under your thumb because who's going
Exactly.
to organize the rebels? Those guys.
And
Yeah.
if they've only
Yeah.
got 4 bodyguards, we're probably the ones keeping them under the thumb too.
Well, there's
Mhm.
4
I think those would be
bodyguards that are,
for like
from the
Empire soldier, like
Yeah,
those
it's
are the
their
guys
guard
who
personal
are
guard.
Yeah,
like
still supposed
yeah,
to
they're like
protect-
6.5 feet tall and just always wear plate armor and just don't talk other than like,
Yeah.
those
They're all
bodyguards.
the mountain. That's all they are. They're all the
Yes.
mountain.
four people just like
Yeah. All right.
Don't talk. Might be undead. You don't know.
oh yeah, there could be like some vague like magic like tingliness, like
Yeah.
fires flicker slightly darker when they're around and when they walk by.
All right. Next question.
Environment. So we've already got continent spanning city, cobblestone and mortar. I like wattle and daub. It looks good. Constant rain, mud. It's
Saxophones, sad saxes.
sad.
I want to know about the
saxophone.
flora
Careless
and
whisper in
fauna
the
here.
distance.
I want to know about the flora and fauna. Like, what kind of plants would grow here? Forest doesn't seem like it
Birds.
would be much of a thing.
Birds.
I feel like
Lots of
small to
birds.
medium animals at
Birds.
this point have kind of moved back in. Like
Small and medium
raccoon.
animals, yeah, but I don't think there'd be many large ones. I don't think
Yeah,
predators,
not a lot of large game. Not a lot
like
of large game.
human-eating predators, are a common problem.
I would imagine, like most of the flora is going to be whatever has made its way through the cobblestone,
Yeah.
like whatever
Yeah.
weeds and stuff, like vines
There's
have
like
grown.
parks with there's
Yeah,
like
or-
parks with trees in it.
Yeah.
plateaus,
That have
like,
then
yeah,
grown
or-
out. Yeah, the parks would have expanded into small
Yeah.
forests.
Yeah.
elevated
There's
gardens.
like arboretums that just exploded outwards.
Yeah.
Elevated
Like-
gardens that used to grow corn or still currently grow corn, like small to medium animals, like a lot of pig pens, but no like grazing animals. Like pig pens and chicken coops are very common.
Yeah,
like,
they would be.
Cows are real rare.
Kobold in chat also mentioned a really good idea. Lots of rodents and pests would absolutely be a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pestilence.
Rats.
Yeah,
Bring on
rats
the
galore,
rats.
but they wouldn't even necessarily be like super diseased rats because they wouldn't
No,
be
just
eating
regular
garbage.
rats
They
with
would be like
rats.
wild rats that are probably cat-sized, I'd imagine.
Now, so you're saying they're rodents of unusual?
Usual size. Yeah.
Is that a reference I don't get?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you the
Wait.
book.
No, you do that
I must-
tomorrow.
maybe
because
if-
that is fucking sacrilege. All right, you don't know the Princess Bride, and I'm sad.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Yeah. No, I think that's
Okay,
good.
so we've got continent spanning city, cobblestone and mortar, wattle and daub, constant raid, mud, saxophones, no large game,
Sad
elevated garden
saxophone.
farms, pestilence, flora. How do I want to word that? Like
Ferns. Lots
There's
of
probably
ferns.
birds.
I love ferns. They're so cool.
I don't know if it'll ever because Burning Wheel can be weird with time. I think the winters don't get a lot of snow. It just becomes kind of tundra-like. Like everything, like it just
Everything
becomes-
dies.
Everything dies and then comes back, but there's maybe some snow, but there's no like you're wading through it any kind. You get like maybe one
no,
snowfall during the winter.
It's not a massively snowy region or anything.
Mhm.
No, I think it's
Mild
more just
winters.
gets yeah, mild winters. It still gets cold, but it doesn't go below at this absolute coldest -10. Probably, and that itself would be rare.
All right, let me
Celsius, that is.
American that.
Because I want to make this place hell on earth, hot, humid summers.
Yeah, yeah,
Totally, because it's so much stone everywhere. And
Yeah.
all stone does is soak up the heat and radiate.
Yeah, it's
back
gonna
out.
be really hot.
The
Oh.
summers fucking suck. I can testify to summers in a southern fucking city. They're the worst.
Mhm.
Okay,
I can't
so
complain much. California's nice.
Shut up.
Now, this next question goes to scope as well as setting. What's the name of the most important place in the setting? Not the capital per se, but the place where all the action goes down.
in
So,
the setting or
like-
in our campaign.
In the setting.
I mean, that's sort of my question. Do we want to define what's important to us or what's important to the setting? Because I think us
the
is the
setting
priority.
is the seat of the empire. The most important place in the setting is the seat of the empire. Because
Yeah,
they have the
But-
most
yeah.
might. They have the most money. they have
Throne
the most
City,
resources.
something like that.
Yeah.
But the most
I think-
important place to us is probably literally the town we're in.
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
our
That's
our
where the
district
action
is our most
Yeah.
important place.
Furthermore, I would say in the setting, not just specifically our town, but like the region is where it's probably second right now, like just below the I'm just gonna call it Throne City, where a lot of stuff is happening just because of the war just ending and all sorts of things. It's up and coming, but that's the whole region.
I'm not worrying about proper nouns right now. So the capital
No.
city of the empire is the fulcrum of the setting. That's where
Yeah.
all of the major turning points will stem from.
Yeah,
But the action will take place in a satellite town in the conquered region.
yeah,
yeah,
so
like
there's
all
no
the
way-
orders will come down from the capital.
yeah, and our company probably has a group of representatives there.
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
totally. We
talk.
have a representative there who gets like notices and he sends runners out to us.
Exactly, or messenger pigeon, because of course it's urban.
Or
Messenger lizards.
depending on their power,
Ooh,
advocates for
messenger
lizards.
lizards. Yes.
yes.
What about messenger rats?
No,
Oh, that's
lizards.
Lizards.
I like lizards. I like the
Okay.
idea of like little that just scurry along the cobblestones delivering messages.
I have the dumbest image in my head of a iguana with like a bottle, like a message in the bottle on its back, going like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing.
The iguana run.
What's the
Someone
farm?
else steps on it, moves up a wall.
All right.
All right, so that was a quick and easy thing, I think.
Mhm.
What's the name of a faraway place, a place that folks talk about, dream about, or mutter under their breath?
Ooh.
Probably wherever our company came from.
No, I don't think we're that weird. We're
I
not
think-
the things people talk about or dream about. We're the place that people leave.
Hmm.
So is there some
I
place
think it's
that's
an
like
archipelago. I think the place people talk about, I don't have a proper noun.
It's like
But I
the
think it's
island
like an-
paradise.
Yeah, like an idyllic archipelago in the sea, or like a utopia kind of sort of like people talk about. That's like in the sea and people are
It's like Atlantis.
Atlantis. It's fucking Atlantis. Atlantis people talk about, but Atlantis with a different name for copyright reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where it's both
I don't
warm when
think
you want it
Atlantis
to be,
is
and
copyrighted
but also
on
because of the
Stargate
breeze,
makes
it's
me
not
think.
as warm as it is here in the summer, but
Yeah.
it's never as cold as it is during the winter.
If you specify the Greek city of Atlantis, then I think you're good.
well,
But it's like an
Just put it in
Atlantis
quotes.
like island paradise.
Yeah, like an
Yeah.
island
Yeah.
paradise.
Yeah. where
Summers aren't too bad, and the
the
winters
Where
technology
they
aren't.
is
have like
good, and
weird
you know.
I like the
where they
idea
have
that-
they have
Oh,
weird magic technology there too. They have like powered boats and things.
Okay, I was thinking that
No
maybe
one
our
really knows how
company
to do it.
like came from there long ago, but like no one, very few
No.
people are actually from there anymore. Like it's been so long that they recruited out of it, and so there's
No,
like
I
this
think we're
weird.
from a separate, dumber place where capitalism reigns.
I mean, if you want a tourist trap,
Honestly, you're-
like
You're probably from some Sparta analog that destroyed
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah,
Probably.
That could
we're from
And
someplace
you guys,
that's
your
shitty.
company was the last remaining, standing army. But
The
you
last
had no
legion.
government to serve anymore.
Yeah.
So
We're
you
for
said,
some-
screw
we're
it.
Oops, we
someplace-
killed all the farmers. We can't grow our own food.
Yeah, we're from
Oh,
well.
someplace shitty.
Yeah.
At least the company is. We're not all from the same place as the company.
Okay.
The company's
Yeah.
from someplace shitty.
Okay.
I'd imagine also like that original
Very
culture of that place is way different than what the company is now because it's just like
Absolutely.
melting pot.
Yeah.
It's a huge melting pot, and yeah.
All right, here's the question that I've been waiting to answer. What types of magic exist in the setting?
The
Art
way the
magic?
book lays out art magic, whatever that is.
That's what you guys want to do, right? Art
Okay.
magic.
I also
Art-
want.
art
I
I
don't
feel
magic.
like art magic is a cool thing.
I don't think anyone's gonna use it, but I want art magic and death magic.
Death magic
Okay.
is probably the
Art magic
classic
is-
evil empire type of
That's-
magic.
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the evil empire's
Those are the
magic is
two.
death magic.
Art magic and death arts would be like the two magics.
Okay,
Yeah.
so looking in the book here, we have, just so we have all our options out. I think enchanting is out simply because it
Yeah.
complicates our lives like guns would.
Yep.
Yeah.
But let's see here. Where are we? We've got practical magic, which is
Like
stage
low
magic.
tier.
It's not actually magic. It's sleight of hand and shit.
I
which-
mean, I don't think that
whatever.
would be common.
Spirit binding.
Nah, I don't want to like delve into spirits or angels.
I think if we have spirit binding, then we have to have like
it's-
spirits
it's
of
more
the...
magic for
yeah.
drifters.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I
So
don't.
There's spirit binding. There's summoning.
Yeah, summoning's
Um,
angels and demons, and I don't really.
Do we want to
that.
deal with summoned devils?
Nah.
No.
No.
Okay. Folklore.
What
blood
type of
I
magic
didn't look
is-
at folklore.
Wait,
what
can we
is-
do blood magic instead of death arts? I want the most evil sounding one that the Empire is real into.
folklore.
So on page 367 is blood magic.
Actually, I don't
Using
mind
pain,
folklore
torture, and
being a thing.
murder, the sorcerer may gain bonus dice to cast his bloody magics. Blood magic is not a complete magic system like art or death magic. It's an add-on meant to be combined with other
Oh,
arts. So we
Fucking
could
hell.
have
yeah,
death
blood
So you could have
Magic
death and blood.
magic.
Death
Um,
magic.
I-
blood magic,
So
but like I
metal.
think blood magic is like Empire secret art magic. Like,
Yeah, it's
I like the
Um,
fact that it's an add-on, and so that other wizards could technically use it too. It's just evil because the evil empire uses it.
Yeah.
I like
It's
mean,
definitely
like-
like the Sith and the Jedi.
yeah. So looking at folklore, it's basically superstition magic. Like it
no,
is.
folklore is super cool. I'm not saying I don't like folklore. I just don't like it for this.
I don't know if I mind it.
But I just don't.
But I don't think it's well known. I think folklore is seen maybe like actual superstition by most.
But you can
Yeah,
still
so-
have folklore superstition stuff without having the magical powers attached.
That's fair. I haven't actually read through folklore in detail, so I don't know what effect it would have.
So it's creating charms, wards, and remedies, and knowing significant dates, significant geometry, stuff like that. It's
It's like witch magic.
it's what would be considered Witcher knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in the world of the Witcher, it's Witcher knowledge, knowing that garlic will repel a vampire, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to fit our.
And
theming.
I don't remember exactly.
That's fair. I just wondered if like weird uses of it could
Yeah,
be
it-
used
it
by
might
the
be
rebellion to fight
something
against
that
the Empire.
The conquered region has.
I was wondering
Yeah,
about.
I think it might be something that
like-
like the conquered region.
Well, my point was we were talking about using faith in a dead god as the like previously conquered region's power to parry to like mirror the blood magic of the Empire. We could do folklore to mirror the blood magic of the Empire, but I don't think they need like two
You don't
things.
think
because
both
That's kind of
works?
a background thing for us.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Folklore seems
And
the
I-
one that does seem to work the best with, like general.
Like a Midwestern town.
Midwestern
So we
Midwestern
just don't
religious
worry
town.
about faith in a dead god then. Like they still have
Yeah.
the religion, but they don't have the faith powers attached.
I think
Yeah.
that makes the most sense. Like most,
Okay,
like
yeah.
faith powers are
So art magic,
not
death
exactly
arts,
common.
blood magic, folklore, and then we don't have faith
Yeah.
at all. Like people
ha-
have religion, but they don't have the powers
the
of
magical power of faith. Unless
Yeah,
we
like
have,
they don't get any magical powers from
unless
their
any of us
deities.
specifically are planning to make a cleric character, basically, which I'm not.
faith. I wasn't.
I am not.
Okay,
Nope.
then
All
we
right.
don't
Well,
have
there
to
we
worry about
go. We don't need to fucking
Okay.
worry about faith then.
it. So
All right,
religious
so we've
folklore,
got-
but no faith powers.
Sick.
That
How is
works.
magic viewed? I think everyone hates blood magic.
Yeah, like do people make distinctions? Like if someone goes, "I'm a mage," do they go like, "Oh, you're a blood mage"? Like do they
I think
immediately do
Blood
that?
mage is
I
like
think
a dirty
even the
mage.
Empire views blood and blood magic as like a necessary, distasteful thing. Like it's like
Yeah,
it's purely utilitarian to them.
yeah.
Hmm.
I
Even
think
if it's
blood
still
magic is,
gross.
I think blood magic is under the table. Even like the high wizard of the realm or whatever.
Yeah, it's
is
seen as like
probably a goddamn blood
rude
mage.
to do it openly.
Or is like he's
Yeah.
probably a blood mage, but he never put that on a business card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the things you don't talk about, even if everyone knows. It's
So maybe like it makes people distrustful of mages.
Yeah, but yeah, by the same token though, I think folklore would be illegal. According to the Empire, folklore magic is illegal because it's the
it
magic
would
of
be.
the rebel. It's the
And
magic
it
of
would
bad
be,
stuff.
and it's also there's the reason that it's wasting precious resources on useless stuff. Cat.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Nikki, for putting the cat in front of the group and just derailing the whole fucking thing.
But it's a
Um,
cat.
Yeah.
You said you were herding cats, and there's a cat.
Yes, I'm used to it.
I like folklore being. I also think it's interesting if the Empire, while a place of dark magic, is also like from a scholarly perspective, the best place to learn magic. It's
Oh yeah,
it's,
no, the magic.
it's
College
the
is in
classic like
capital.
evil but also really effective. It's you're gonna learn a bunch of distasteful stuff, and you will be smarter than mages who didn't go there.
Hmm.
So, art magic, is it just commonly accepted? Nobody really cares?
I think
or is
it's rare but not uncommon. Like
How does art
there's
magic work?
maybe-
Like
It
mechanically? What is art
replaces
magic?
regular sorcery. It's just you write your own spells as you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you basically have effects that just increase the ob of your sorcery.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
roll sorcery to do a magical effect. You have a limited school of effects you could pick from. Like
okay,
limited per wizard, not limited per world.
okay,
Yeah.
So if you are a wizard, you pick 3 categories of things you can do with magic, and then you have specific requirements.
Oh.
It's just no spell list magic.
Yeah. It's 279 on the
I see.
book.
I just
Yeah,
got
you
to it,
can
yeah.
you can hinder, you can aid, you can use magic to empower physical actions. You can destroy with sorcerous fire, always a good
Yeah.
time.
Things like that.
You can
But, like,
summon weapons. You can
Yeah.
but it's really generic, wishy-washy magic where it's like, I'm a wizard, I do magic. No, I don't. Spell book like in the book
Okay.
of the rules.
Yeah, I see. So it's
It's just the simpler magic than like
mechanically easier to
gameplay-wise,
use.
it's more narrative than the other magic
Okay.
system.
So your typical practitioner of art magic, are they revered by most people as, a wizened type of person? Are we looking at like a Gandalf kind of
No,
figure?
but I think
wandered
it's like
in,
a
or-
job. Just like
It's
every
just like a
town
job.
needs a guy that
Like-
makes beer. Every town needs a wizard.
Oh,
Like
so
it's seen like a
just-
Witcher without all of the hate and vitriol.
Yeah, no, it's like you need like some towns have brewers and like things like that. You're just the wizard in town. It is a job that some people have.
I don't.
Okay.
Why would they be needed? What would they do for
make-
the town
why would they need that
would make that
commonly?
necessary?
Because wizards would be
because
quite
there's
common at that
other
point.
people with magic. It's a line of defense.
Okay.
Magic problems happen. We call the wizard. Rat problems happen.
Okay.
We call the rat.
So it is
Okay.
like magical disturbances something that's not common enough to have a wizard in every town.
Yeah, maybe not like every town, but like within a region of 4
Any
towns,
town that's big
there's
enough. Yeah.
There's
any
one
town
wizard.
any town that's big enough has a wizard.
Yeah.
Is there
Okay.
just
So, like-
rampant magic within the world itself?
I don't know.
They almost
but
feel
if
like
there's-
magic detectives at this point. Like you don't.
Yeah.
They're not that common. Though they're to
Yeah.
investigate and fix specialized things.
Yeah, if
I would think
there's
like magical anomalies would be cool.
magical.
Could
if
be
there's
like
people
remnants
with
of that
magic-
dead god or something.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
Yeah.
bad guys with magic too. So
Or
might as well have
like-
a wizard.
Yeah. Okay.
You could always use a good
Is
counter spell
magic
here or there.
so in the mechanics? Magic is something that you have to be born with the ability to do, right?
Yes.
Gifted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
have to be born. You have to be gifted, not born with it, but you have
Yeah,
to
you ha-
be gifted.
Gifted. You have to have like some people just can't do it and some people can, and it's a skill
Yeah.
you have to learn on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorcery
How
is a
do
skill.
people see gifted separate from people who go on to be a magic user? But how do people see the reason why some people can and can't do it and like things like that? Is there
I think
or
that's
people who like are gifted and choose not to be a sort of magic or sorcerer?
That's
whatever you call
probably
it.
more of a nebulous issue. Like it depends on where you're from, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Mhm.
I'm sure, like in certain circles, it's seen as a great thing, and you have so much potential in front of you. It's a youngling Jedi. Like they can
Yeah.
do great.
The Empire,
things
I'm
or
sure,
wreak
will basically
horrible things upon us.
will kidnap you like the youngling, like the Jedi with younglings. So like your destiny is to become a sorcerer because you were gifted. You are.
But then in like some small hick towns, they kill wizard childs.
Yeah.
Something.
Like it's,
Yeah.
it probably
I think
depends on where
that's
you're
too
personally
specific
from.
For like a big cultural thing, I think that's like place
Yeah.
to place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll end up being what's most interesting right now, I think.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a general feeling of how magic is viewed by the interested parties.
Yeah.
Character stocks. I think we're just
Man.
going human.
Man.
Right?
We're just
Yeah.
gonna stick with
They-
humans.
They changed that. To,
Did they?
Oh.
It's human
Oh, okay.
stock now. I was
have-
yeah,
really
they
into
did.
manish stock. I
Yep.
liked it a lot.
Manish.
Fine.
okay.
we-
Do
Are there any
others
like
exist?
rumors or
Oh.
legend of elves or dwarves?
Oh no rumors of elves or dwarves. There's rumors of ratmen.
Yeah. Ratman in the city.
Oh yes.
Rumors of ratmen.
Rumors
that
of
live
ratmen
under
in the
city.
like
In
the
the
sewer
sewers,
city. That's the
yes.
exact. That's like just as big, but it's all underground. Rumors.
Absolutely.
No entrance has
Alright.
ever been
Oh.
verified to be found, but there's like yeah,
not,
the
not
rat
verified
kingdom.
rumors of rodent
Yeah.
that live under the city.
I like the idea also of like vampires being in the city, just because like there's so many dark places they could hide.
Do vampires might fit because of like blood and death magic things, but
They
I
might-
also
okay, yeah, but that's not
They-
like that's not a stock.
Not like a
that's
major
monster.
thing. Yeah.
no,
a
it would be
stock
like
monster.
one of the things you send a sorcerer to deal with. Is
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
Yeah.
a
vampire.
monster.
Oh, that's the
where
next question. I
monsters
went
are
ahead of-
pathetic. Next
I went ahead of
question.
myself.
Okay. Yeah, I think human
Alright,
and rodent. I don't. So I don't think there's any like there's no one tells stories of elves or dwarves. I think they just don't
No.
exist then.
No, they tell the rumors of the rat people in the sewers. They tell the stories of the great city of old. That's our history.
What about and this is weird because they're not quite monsters, not quite. But what about like the merfolk of Atlantis, or like is that something? Is there an ocean?
What if
Ocean
that's the
elves.
elves?
No.
Yeah, ocean elves, sea elves.
Yeah.
Could be a thing.
Yeah.
Merfolk can be seen like sea elves.
I don't think
depending on
we need to have
interpretation.
elvish stock though.
Yeah, I
No.
don't
No,
think they're
not
in
stock,
play.
not anything in play, but just are there rumors of
Yeah,
Yeah.
the crafters of this idyllic setting couldn't have possibly have been human. It's too great.
Yeah. or
Yeah.
maybe like once they were human, but with their like great technology and magic, they have like ascended
They have
beyond.
Ascended.
transcended humanity.
Yeah,
Whatever,
and some
yeah.
say they
That
live for
falls under-
centuries now. Even
That falls under Atlantis.
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I mean. No,
Yeah.
There wouldn't be any stock. You'd never see one. Anything
No.
like that.
Yeah, who are the
Like-
monsters? Vampires. Yes, they are outcasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to say.
I think-
What any
I think all
elf-
monsters are outcasts, and unless you're like one of those disciples of the evil overlord, in which
Yeah.
case they're fucking minions.
Do we
Yeah.
have? No, but are there other
Outcasts or
monsters
minions?
besides vampires? If there's death arts, there's the undead. So
There's
vampires, the
probably
undead.
like
Yep.
I'm imagining there's like some weird
I want
the
golems.
ghost like fragments of the ghost of the dead god kind of thing.
Golems.
Like
Stone golems that wander.
golems could work.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
fits
that would
the
be
city
awesome.
god.
Statues of the former city that have been imbued by the power of the dead god.
Yeah.
Right.
I dig
Golems
it.
are a thing. I like the idea.
Golems
that
would be like, unlike in D&D
wandering
and stuff
in
where
the
golems have hit
outskirts.
points, in real life a golem made of stone would be like destroy an entire town because it's made of stone. You couldn't do anything. Like
Yeah.
even
Right.
if it's
You can't do
man
shit to
sized,
it.
you still
That's why
Yeah.
you have a wizard.
That's why you have a wizard.
yes, that's why you have a wizard to stop the golems because
In case
swords
a
can't do
wandering
anything.
golem comes through.
Yeah.
Hit it with a catapult and it would shrug it off.
Yeah. Fucking golems.
Yep.
Okay.
Just because
Golems.
vampires are on there, I want to put werewolves, but I don't know how.
No, vampires as undead,
Vampires-
vampires as virus. Because we have
Okay.
death arts, we need to have undead options.
That's true.
That's fair. Let's
That's
see.
why I wanted death arts. I wanted zombie fights.
Abominations as well.
Oh
As
yeah, like
Oh.
weird.
you can make
Like just creatures.
you can make an abomination with death arts.
They're not
They're
part of
basically
everyday
like
life.
cobbled together creatures.
like Frankenstein stuff, but not looking like a human.
Totally.
Okay.
Oh yeah, these things aren't like. Well, picture like World of Warcraft. You know the big guards in Undead
Yeah.
City.
Yeah,
Those are
with
literally
the-
called
that have, like
They're-
forearms
yeah,
and
the
hook
abominations.
and like
Like a mouth
that's
in
the
their
kind of
stomach.
thing you could make.
Okay. Hmm.
And yeah,
That
yeah, these things are to the average townsperson. These things are still fairly mythical. Like old Jed Dazzy saw one. Nobody believes him.
Yeah.
He's old crazy drunk.
Yeah,
You know.
that's why.
Yeah.
But like, I'm assuming there's a dichotomy of like, why are we paying the wizard? No one's ever seen a golem.
Yeah, it's that.
Like, there's that kind of problem. Like, why do
if
we
It could be
birds
like-
are a
chef the
big
wizard?
thing, what
does
about
he
like
do?
what about tiny dragons? Not like
Little
D&D
tiny
dragons,
dragons.
but like dragons that are the size of like
Like horse size?
Pseudo
or-
dragons.
No, eagle-sized dragons, something like that, where they still like breathe an amount of fire and they're still a threat, relatively
think they
speaking.
breathe-
But they're
Yeah.
adorable.
Yes, just like
If you put
basically like
whatever-
tiny dragons, not baby dragons. They're fully adults and they're not that big, kind of thing.
I'm
be a-
torn between like D&D
Something
pseudo
flying.
dragon and disc world dragons.
Yeah, swamp
Oh.
dragon.
Because-
Yeah.
You're saying you just want a flying monster?
Well, we mentioned like birds would be a thing. Like it is a paradise, and there would be some kind of, I think, flying type monster that makes sense as an environment for it.
there
So,
would be some sort of flying predator of some sort.
Yeah,
That would
I'm
make
okay with
sense if there's,
miniature
like,
dragon.
rats and stuff everywhere. That you have to have some big,
You'd have to have a
like-
rat predator.
yeah, an aerial
Make
predator.
the dragons vermin themselves.
Kind of, yeah. They'd be the
Rat
cats.
dragons.
Dragons would be the cats of this land, basically. They they
Yes.
hunt and eat the
We call
rats.
them dragons, but they're this big. They're scaly. They have wings. And they
Everyone
breathe,
has one in their farm to kill all the rats.
and they breathe bouts of flame to kill rats.
That's why you have the wizard to keep the dragons in line.
That's why they built out of cobbles and not wood.
Exactly.
there you go.
So okay, so we're doing cat dragons.
Yeah,
Cat dragons.
I'm
Yep.
calling them Draconis felinus for now.
That's fine.
Honestly,
Yes!
Alright, that's fine. How do we feel about imperial credits as the economy for the currency?
I don't
Too
like the
sci-fi,
word credits,
especially after
I don't
being
like credits.
the Stars
but
Out
I
number.
love credits.
Stars Out number we've had credits.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I like historical names for cash like denarii or
Mhm.
ducats or you know.
Clams.
What did we name the evil? Do we have a name for the evil empire?
No,
the reclamation was the closest that we had. I think that was
No, the
one we liked
reclamation
most.
is the cause.
The movement. Yeah,
Right.
The reclamation's the cause, but there's the empire is its own name, so like the heirs to the city or something like bullshitty like that.
yeah.
Because I know
The
that.
heirs of whatever the god's name was.
Let me look.
Could be
Uh,
that. Because I know
no,
historically, like the Florent was a really popular coin, but that was based because of the city Florence.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We should name this city. What's the name? Does it need
It'd
a
be
whole
like
name?
naming a continent. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what it's known as now.
Because if we could get the name of the
Um,
continent or the city, then we
I
can
think
make a
it's just
coin.
Well,
called
what
based
if
on
the
that
city is
name.
the same name as the god? What if it's literally like seen as the same
Yeah.
entity? Like
Yeah,
If it's
the,
a
so
the
that's
city
what
the
I was
god,
god,
always
the
thinking with
land,
that
the
god.
city, it's like one and the same. And so it's
Yeah, so
one name.
the empire would be like the constables or something, or the constabulary.
Mm-hmm. Constabulary coins.
I'm thinking of like because it's a civilization god basically. It's like Savalis, something that
Sure.
sounds
That works
right.
for me. What's
Yeah.
it based off
It,
of?
Something
I
like
care
that.
less about
Just
Mhm.
civilization and Alice
Oh,
is,
okay.
you know.
I
I
Oh,
care
like
less
that's the name of the
SAV.
coin.
Oh, that would be the
That's-
name of the like capital
Oh.
city.
I
Is
imagine
capital city
SAV.
slash
SAV
god
sound
slash the whole city.
works better
Right.
in my head. Does anyone feel better if it's CIV or SAV?
Savalis?
Civalis or like Savalis? Like
It depends on if you want it to look more like civilization or not.
Yeah,
SAV.
SAV.
I'm going
Yeah.
for SAV.
something like that.
Going with
Yeah.
SAV just because it's a little less obvious.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's more about the sound than it is about like this is an obvious ripoff.
And then maybe make the coin like a savant.
A seventh. I'm into
Civilian.
Civilian.
I think there's just
Seventh.
one coin. I don't think we worry because it's all. I feel like
Yes,
it's a lot
please.
of
It's
barter.
we're not gonna have copper, silver,
Yeah.
or
I feel like the
Electrum.
economy is
I don't-
barter up to a certain level. Beyond a certain level, you trade the coins.
I'm just thinking the middle of the word is vowel. So what about just a vowel or something as like a shorthand for the coin?
Oh, I like Savane.
Oh, we lost
Everyone
Jordan.
keeps
There we go.
dropping.
I don't know. We're having
I
some
don't know why.
definitely technical
Yeah,
issues.
I think it's more Discord than us.
Yeah,
We're
Every
on
hour or
US
so, mine
West
keeps dying.
yeah.
because
Sounds
of
like Discord.
someone.
So what are we
Um,
thinking?
I'm good with. Let's see. Yeah.
A vowel would be
Barter
like the
into
short
gold.
hand, maybe.
How does economy work? Just to answer the question straight up, barter system up to a certain value. Beyond that value, gold-based economy. Like
Okay.
gold-backed coins.
So like a singular coin of some kind is very
That's
valuable
worth-
if you barter up to it.
Yeah. So like one coin is worth 4 goats or 12 chickens or a pallet of wood or whatever.
Or like a
But, like,
month's
one-
labor and as a soldier.
Yeah,
or
a
something
month's
like
labor
that.
is one coin. A coin is a large unit. Anything below a coin is just barter economy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a coin
Alright, so-
in our modern day, a coin would be like a wad of hundreds or a wad of.
In which
Yeah.
case, how are we paid? Do they literally give us a coin every month? Because if that's the case, how on earth do we spend that?
Well,
Barter
Maybe
personally,
we're
we
paid in
don't worry
barter.
about as part of Burning Wheel, though, we don't really worry about fiddling with coins. You have a
Yeah.
resource stat
True.
that you roll by itself, so it doesn't matter. It's handled in the background. We don't give a shit about banking.
Yeah. And then in the fiction, I suspect that all of our day-to-day stuff will be paid for by the company. All of the costs that are part of us doing our job.
Mm.
And then it's
So
anything extra that we buy ourselves.
I'm catching up on my notes here. The currency is called what?
We didn't fully agree. We got
Okay.
Savane, Val, or Civulion. Val is the easiest
I
to
tried
say.
to spell it.
Val's the
I think-
easiest.
Civilian. It's like Somalian.
Yeah.
Civilian.
I like civilian.
Civilian.
Yeah, but it's a barter economy up to a civilian. 'Cause
Okay.
The civilian's a
Well,
big
Civilian
unit
could be
of
the full
money.
name, and then just we could rename it instead of Val to like Vol as
Yeah,
the
it's
shorthand of it.
it's called a vol. Yeah.
Or yeah, however it's pronounced. Spelled.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So, and of course, the Empire collects the taxes. People work
Yeah.
for survival.
Survival.
Yeah.
Survival and the Empire too, the same
Mhm.
thing.
Major
What's
trade.
the? Do we have to worry about that? Do you think?
No,
I mean,
we
are-
don't.
I mean, we have that answer for local, and I think it's too
Yeah.
complex for large scale.
Yeah.
So
because we're talking about an entire country. Like their major
Yeah.
trade is everything that they can get their hands on.
yeah,
You
and our
know.
town does iron, so that's it.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
town we're in does iron. The country itself doesn't have
Well,
a major
did
export
iron.
because most medieval empires didn't have an export. They just worried about their internal shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a self-sufficient empire.
All right, so we're most of the way through this. We go to the character shit, the part that really matters for you guys.
Yep.
So based on all of this, if you guys have a concept for your character, like 1 or 2 lines, just go ahead and write it down in your chosen color under concepts, and we'll see where everyone's at, and then we'll talk about it.
How do I type? Here's text. Here's the option.
I have my name in there already. It's too funny.
How do I put it in my color?
You should just be able to change the color up where it says up where the font is.
Oh, you want us to type it in here or on our sheets?
Well, like on the virtual tabletop.
Oh, okay, on the page. Got it. Oops, not polygon line text.
Ah, there, text.
There we go. That is my color.
Oh. I'm gonna put mine closer to cultural traits, just so I don't step on anyone's toes.
Oh, as I start typing there. Yeah, we'll move it.
Does my spell check not work in?
No, your
Funny.
spell check doesn't work in a virtual tabletop. Come
God,
on now.
I am basically just like, God damn it.
It's fine. You're not getting points for grammar.
How do I somehow?
I mean, don't even make it full sentences. Just words describing the character is fine.
There we go. That's my concept written down. I added some more.
Also a doctor, maybe.
Also
a secret rebel, maybe.
Those are both optional, but I already have life paths in mind for if they are.
Fair.
Spelling.
Now, jumping ahead a little bit,
Spell-
just so I can vamp and fill some time while you guys,
Ugh. Just
write
pinkle
this stuff
me.
out.
No.
I got you.
No.
I got you. I got it. Don't worry about it. We're good.
I'm putting it there. Okay.
Duly
I'm
Leave it
opening a
there.
Word document. This is too hard.
Copy and paste.
Copy and paste from a Word document.
So jumping ahead to cultural traits, do we want to just define the company's cultural traits, or do you guys want to be like individually, I'm from here and I have these cultural traits?
Well, let's talk about cultural traits in general and what they are. So, like,
I think we need.
Do you want to explain what
many
cultural
cultural
traits mean?
That's fair. That's
How many
fair.
cultural
Yeah,
traits do we
let's
have?
define. It's 1 to 3, but cultural traits are how another culture would view your culture. Like they're the stereotypical bullet points of, if I was describing the British, they would be prim and proper, would be a good cultural trait for them.
Okay. I think we would want traits for people from this region, and I don't know if we want them from the company necessarily.
I think here's what I think. About
Companies.
traits. I feel like we need one company trait.
That's fair.
Yeah.
One
One
company
trait from the
we all
company.
have, and then we all have one trait for the region we're from before the company.
Right.
Which doesn't matter to what we're playing. You don't have to define it at all. It's just some cultural trait that you have.
Yeah, but it
Mhm.
means if two people are from the same culture on purpose, they'd have the same trait.
Right.
Yes.
No, I dig that. Yeah, we can. I think we'll do 3 cultural traits. I'm all about giving you guys more options for your traits. And
Yeah,
cultural traits are
company-
usually character traits. They don't have a mechanical benefit,
Yeah,
really.
Of course.
They're just descriptors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of what type of person? Okay.
Do you want
My-
that also on the tabletop?
No, I was skipping ahead to vamp and fill time
Yeah.
while you guys
Oh.
wrote out your character concepts. It was
Who
just
hasn't
a
written their
question I
concept
had
yet?
rattling around. We're waiting on Indigo.
Okay.
But let's see here. We've got the son of a now dead lead of the now dead leader, not an official part of the company, here for revenge. We've got
Changing my...
one of the last survivors of a wizarding order trying to live by their teachings in a world that is antithetical to it. So it's a Jedi during the Empire from Star Wars is what you're
That's what I'm going for.
aiming for. And then we've got a scout playing with concepts about the values of others' opinions, quiet, possibly married to an Empire noble.
Okay.
And then we've got the cold operator / bannerman of the squad who does the tough jobs. Fucking
like
Wolverine.
The heavy.
the
All right.
child. I killed the children. It's like, oh, the child's in the way and knows too much. I'm the one who kills the child.
So Kite.
No.
But while we're on the subject of killing the child, how far into the atrocities of the Empire do we wish to delve?
That's a good
I
question.
said it earlier.
Like, I don't
but
want to offend anybody's
PG-16.
person, you know.
I was saying PG-16 earlier, like below R, but not as light as PG-13 is usually like a safe middle ground.
Okay. Yeah, I think a line
You
for
can
me.
say
I
fuck
don't
as
think
much
I.
as you want, but
I don't think I want sexual violence to be a thing. I think that would be a line. Like it's just never like
Oh yeah,
it's
hard
as good
line,
as
no.
not even
Yeah.
in the setting
Okay,
because
so So it is an unwritten and heavily enforced rule of the company that raping and
Oh yeah, nope.
is
Nope.
that
That
yeah, I
leads
think-
to immediate hanging.
I think there it's just like yeah we wouldn't
It's part
because
of our professionalism.
I think even encountering that from people outside of the company in the setting in a game like this where it's a lot more emotionally realistic, if that make any sense at all, it would be a bigger deal than it's and a more impactful thing than it is in some other games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's
okay? So we're saying that it's okay to set fire to a village and wipe them out. However, on screen we probably don't want to see the burning kids.
Correct.
Is that
Yes.
is that a fair
100%
assessment?
True. Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I may
Yeah.
have picked the
Sorry,
character. that
I
was
have
into
to be
fire. I'm
upfront about
not
the
going to
words
describe it.
wording
Yep.
here
Yeah.
because you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We all need to be on the same page here, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So going back to character concepts, what do you guys think of everyone else's characters? Do you feel like this is a group that could coexist together?
I feel like the one that's most out there is the one who's not part of the company, but I think that would make a smart
I
an
only wanted
interesting
one person
dynamic.
who isn't part of the company. If two people wanted to be people who aren't in the company, then I'd probably withdraw mine.
Yeah.
So
but
what
it
do-
looks
what do you
the
mean
other
by-
three of us are part of the company, and you're just now stepping into it, and we're all buddy and friends because we've been working together for a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever. You're like, I'm here now. You're the boss's. You're the dead boss's kid.
I'm the dead boss's kid, which in this company is probably not seen as a great thing, but also the
Yeah, you're
people
just kind of
around the
spoiled.
dead boss might actually care or be interested in me because of that.
Yeah,
on a
you might be interested.
but also if I'm a doctor and there was just a mine accident, then my services will be well needed.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, at least from the character I'm thinking of, I regret I am resistant to your presence, not trying to actively expunge it.
It's more I'm just an
chafing me.
outsider.
Yeah, you're an outsider. You're chafing me because I used to be the outsider, and now I'm on the in group and you're on the out group.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so how far removed from the company is this character? Like, are they not at
They
all?
have-
And they're
if I just they're not, I don't think they're at all a part of it. From my idea is the now dead leader fathered a child with a noble woman in the capital and then left. and then like I was raised by that noblewoman, but then the like nobility and probably her father or whoever's in charge kicked me out when I was like a teenager, and I went to go like find out who he was, and I only found out, and then I like drama stuff. But I've never interacted with the company, except if I'm a secret rebel, which I haven't decided on. I might have sabotaged them. I wouldn't directly fight them. I don't. Yeah.
That brings up an interesting point we touched on before, that like the war stopped for now, but we know that they're going to keep pushing. Was there a war 20 years ago that brought this company in, and this is like the second time they came in to help push the war?
Oh, fuck it, totally.
And that's why like
Yeah.
that's why your
Yeah.
dad met that noblewoman, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this company is.
They call us back. We're
What if
loyal.
like the reason it's so controversial, this contract, is because like last time we fought for them, it actually like was terrible for our company, and so like it wasn't like an oath, but it was said we're not going to work for the Empire again, and then 20 years later we do, and it goes better, but we still said we weren't going to.
Well, there's that, or I just had the thought that maybe there was a change in leadership in the past 20 years. The evil overlord took over, and the previous contract was just settling some border disputes and shit like that. So you're like, it's not that bad. You get into the contract and
Slippery
find out
slope
that
stuff.
there's, you know,
Yeah.
that
Like, we
Satan
worked
is running
with
the
you-
country now, you know.
Yeah, Satan, like, we knew Satan was always in the country, but he wasn't in charge. He wasn't.
So this is
signing
an
our
old
checks.
contract with new context.
We
Does that
we
make
had a
sense?
contract with the
I think it's a
Weimar,
new
and then we took it up with the
contract, but
Reich.
we-
Like that's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah, you had a previous contract that went sort of well. You were like, okay, we have a previous business relationship, so we'll go in, you know, and you didn't really do
Yeah.
your due diligence to find out what was involved because
We were on the border of like
Yeah.
and it was
I dig
not
it.
a busy border
All
like
right.
this one.
Yeah. But now
Okay.
we're occupying a village.
All right. So these concepts I can see working. I don't see any major tweaks. Does anybody want to try to flesh out anything before we continue forward? Or do we just want to leave it as these nebulous statements for now and then define it really when we get into character burning?
I guess
Define really in character.
I have some questions for Jordan's character as to like, are you, firstly, does the company know about your wizardness, or is it a secret from everyone?
I was waiting for that for our setting description, and I think based on the setting, he would have came in as a wizard.
He's
right?
the company wizard.
Yeah, he'd be the
Okay.
company wizard. Like this
Oh, yeah, he's
detachment's wizard.
definitely. I think since I think is only one person going magic,
I think so.
I'm going magic adjacent.
or no? Because I think
Okay.
I have a feeling that like every squad gets a wizard. You know, the company
Yeah.
puts a resident wizard on the squad because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm the resident wizard on this squad.
Yeah. I'm going magic adjacent. Like, I know of magic, but I can't fucking, like, cast spells.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually going to the lines of possibly on the edges of illiterate. So no for magic, thanks.
Okay.
I think mostly everyone becomes illiterate unless you take certain life paths that
In
make
Burning
you-
Wheel,
Yeah.
by default, you're
Yeah.
illiterate.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
default
you
illiterate.
actually have to have the read skill and the write skill. They're two separate skills.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. I'm like, maybe not.
Don't worry, I
Are
think
you
I'll
a
have those
fighter?
skills.
Okay.
Are you an illiterate
Yeah.
fighter?
So there's, I don't think there's as much like hiding from the Empire kind of thing, unless there's a thing about your magic that we don't know about even within the company, something like that.
Not that I could think of.
Oh, I
'cause it-
think the wizards of the company are probably sanctioned by the Empire. They're like, no, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, you
Throw a
don't
fireball.
Yeah,
We
you
love it,
don't use
you know,
you
but-
don't use folklore, you don't use death arts, you
Yeah.
just use art magic. They're all cool with that.
I was thinking maybe like early on in this empire, maybe they didn't want conflicting wizarding orders, and then that's the order he came from because he from a really young age was a wizard, right? Like with his
Yeah.
background is like,
might
what
have
are they
killed
Are
like?
you
Like
a
that.
survivor of? It might have been something from the last war. Once again,
Yeah,
like the
they
the
might
one
have
from
Could've
20
been.
years ago.
They might have like bombed your wizard school because it was like a wizard school
Yeah.
that wasn't.
But now you're one of the Empire now, so it's
official.
all good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see something like that.
yeah. Like they
Totally,
took
just
apart,
get over the wizard school bombing.
Just get over
Yeah,
it.
don't worry.
Join our-
Listen, you bomb a school and everyone
You've
gets all
thrown a
uppity.
fireball once or twice. I'm sure one or two hit an orphanage.
One or two fireballs will
I feel
make it
like
better.
it's something where the Empire doesn't know that you're from the school. They didn't keep the records or whatever.
Yeah.
They all
And you
burned.
joined a tertiary company that contracted with the Empire. Like they'd have problems if you
Yeah.
tried to join the Imperial Army, but they don't
Mhm.
care because you joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be one of those like if you want to play it this way, you might have problems with what the company's doing because you didn't expect it to be this kind of thing. Like I joined this company and then now they're doing this kind of work and I didn't sign up for this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
That is very much something that I'm hoping to go with, but
Yep.
not
We
stealing
need
that.
someone. Okay, we need someone who is actually pro Empire as well. I'd
I'm
like someone on
not
both sides
going
of the
pro
fence.
Empire, but I'm going very much hardline. Contract is law.
I
Yeah.
could go. I
Good
could very
lawful
easily go
neutral.
pro Empire. By the way,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
switch
I
my
go
character
pro Empire
from-
if you want, but I'm definitely going hardline. Like as far as the company goes, I'm all about the company's like we do the job. Contract is law.
Okay.
It's
We could also have
read,
a
I do it.
we could also have a it's a Cold War analog, but a representative from the Politburo that like accompanies the squads.
An ISB
Like
agent.
they're from the Empire. They make sure that you know everything
think
is
the-
what the Empire
I don't-
Yeah.
I
says
think
it is.
I think that's
I don't
the
think
guy-
we're babysat that much.
Yeah, I think
No.
our only babysitter is the guy in the town, like the vice count they sent to town. I think he is our only Empire babysitter.
And if we want more contrast, like if most of you guys are kind of against the Empire, even if not majorly on the fence, I might make my character a secret Empire spy. Like instead of a secret rebel,
Yeah.
they'd be like basically an ISB agent who's secretly like, okay, there's some rebels here, find them out.
Yeah, but I want to go hardline company, not like Empire or rebels. So like, I
Yeah,
stab who the
having
company-
some of
I
all
stab
three
who
would
the
be great.
sergeant tells me to stab.
You know,
Anyway, move
Yeah,
on.
I think
Spencer,
more-
if you're going for a doctor, maybe you might want to look into torturer as well. Like, 'cause they're
That could work.
No, I saw that was the
up on
thing.
their anatomy and
Anatomy
everything.
helps.
I don't.
I am
I don't
maybe
know.
planning to have knives as my biggest status is.
Yeah,
You know,
I think just
work
based
with a
on like
scalpel.
the Empire like rebellion like lines, I think my character he doesn't really care about those lines like in respect to like law and whatever. I think he cares more about those lines based on like what was he taught was right and wrong and what are they doing.
Okay,
Right.
so not
It's more
about
like a functional
sides,
thing.
but more about like
Like
the here and
principles.
now. Yeah.
Morals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making another moral center that's going to turn into a huge asshole.
I'm making less of a wild
Yes.
card. I'm just intentionally trying to do like a wild card with a very strict guideline, like a wild
Like
card
this-
you can read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like the wild card in the last game that you couldn't read. Like, you know what he's doing. You're
Yeah.
not happy about it, but you know exactly what this character is about to do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
your
see it
character
coming.
sounds like the guy that's like, well, you know, overtime's not in my contract, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to renegotiate.
Yes.
I'm
You
trying
see it
very-
coming like a train, and it
Mhm.
hurts and it's bad and it's ugly, but you're not surprised.
No. I'm trying very much to get a character who isn't really sure what she thinks, basically.
New to the maybe new to the company, that fits
Would
for
maybe-
Scout. Like
Would
Yeah,
you have
somewhat
joined
new.
for the get away from it all aspect of it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joined for that and is like, okay, I guess we're going for the Empire. I'm not really a fan of the Empire in any way, shape, or form, but if you guys all say it's good, then sure.
I have someone to corrupt the hard line through the contract ideals.
Absolutely.
Freaking
It's like-
What I'm wanting,
I hold your hand as you stab your first innocent, kind of thing.
what I am wanting
I'm
to
just
play
imagining like
He's
Kratos
stabbing.
from God
How
of.
I can
You have
be
Kratos and
corrupted, yeah.
Atreus. That's what you have right now. Like Kratos is who Kite is, and then Marissa's playing Atreus, and you just have like the hand of the killing of the deer scene.
It's like, no, you do it. This is what must be done. This is the way.
Oh.
This is the way.
Yeah, it's the whole plan.
All right. So
Okay.
I think we're good with concepts here.
Yep.
So I will leave
company
the
traits.
2 cultural traits up to you guys to define, but company trait is what we need to work on next. Yes.
Yep.
Professional?
I think that professional seems like the easiest one.
So
to do.
I will. Could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very easy thing to say about them. They are
See if there's anything else. Yeah.
professional.
I'm trying to think of cultural traits. I don't know. Is androgynous like a cultural trait? Can I be from an androgynous people? Because I feel I don't want to be from the Empire.
Your culture
Doesn't
Yeah,
have.
your culture doesn't differentiate between the sexes, so therefore there's no dress and pants scenario. You know, there's just clothing for everyone. There's no feminine style or masculine style. There is just the style.
Yes,
Beautiful is
style
another
bad.
decent one if we want
And
it to
and
be.
the style is bad.
Mm.
But I still prefer professional. I think.
No, I'm thinking for like just my character's cultural
Yes.
traits because we have 2 then.
Yeah.
But I like professional
Yeah,
for the
and
company.
you guys can.
that-
Yeah, because they are known as they keep their word.
They're effective.
They do the job. They don't leave until the job's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Now-
professional still makes the most sense.
Okay, so we'll say professional as the.
So for these traits,
Yeah,
are they
as
like
long as
traits
we
of
all
the book?
understand what that means, I think we're good.
Yeah.
They are cultural traits are usually one or a small descriptor, a several word descriptor. They're called character traits in the book. They don't have a mechanical benefit, but they describe the person.
Got it.
So you could be from a culture that's everybody's tall, and so you have the tall trait. Or
Okay.
everyone here is
Yes.
a redhead, so you have the ginger trait.
I don't know how you would describe it, but as a cultural
And you could
trait-
also use that for personality type traits too.
Yeah.
Well, how would you call like just the nihilist, like brutalist, like kind of way of speaking, where you don't like
Bleak.
sugarcoat anything in like one good word?
Oh, blunt.
Jaded.
Blunts.
Yeah,
could
blunt.
work.
All right, I
Yeah.
want blunt as a character trait. That's my character.
Is anyone else here born in? Because I was thinking my character was born in the capital. Is anyone else considering their
I
character?
was born from a far-off land and on a boat, so I'm androgynous and blunt.
Mm,
I'm hoping to be born in basically a city that was taken over a couple years ago
Okay,
or whatnot.
so basically you would be picking the cultural traits for the rebels as well. When you pick your 2, if you were from a city from a couple years ago,
Good
They'd
point.
probably be
You
the
would
same.
share-
Yeah.
you would share the cultural traits from the people of the region of conquering.
yeah.
Though sadly,
so-
as I look through this book, I'm not seeing cultural traits.
Cultural.
They're not in
you
the
can
book,
they're
just, like,
in-
listed.
basically just pick a
traits.
one-word descriptor. Honestly, for these
That I
types,
can do.
any word.
Yeah.
But if you look at the trait list in gold on page 311, you'll see addicted and adorable both say car after them, character traits. That's what we're looking for here is character traits.
Ah,
So if you
Okay.
look through and you can get examples of ambitious, amenable, anemic, arcane,
Feral.
Oh.
bloviatic,
Superstitious.
comely. Yeah,
What's comfort?
dour. Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think. I think
They're
Mike.
just generally good looking.
So,
I think-
wait, but Jordan, are you from the country we're from too?
Yep.
Are you from the big city country or not?
I think if we're going with like his school was essentially bombed in one of the first wars, I think he's from one of the more older conquered regions.
So maybe you and Marissa would share cultural traits.
Well, I'm thinking if
That could be an
you're
option.
if like the
It could
like a
be
couple years
different
ago
era of
Yeah.
expansion.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a
I think it
previous
is.
era,
Maybe share
not
one.
like a more recent one.
Maybe
We
you
could share
one.
one
Maybe you
probably.
share one cultural
Mhm.
trait.
Yeah.
I what is the
I'm just trying to
It's
make
just
the
not-
cultural trait process a little bit easier.
God, this is like super like
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
we can.
Tolerant? That would be hilarious cultural trait for the rebels.
tolerant would be
There you
funny.
go.
Tolerant.
I think like one that stuck out to me was abused because the Empire kind
You
of
both
does
have the
that.
trait of abused.
Wow.
Persecution complex.
Persecution.
Honestly, that's
I mean,
itself is a
I'm
good trait.
down.
Persecuted
I'm
is
down.
actually a great cultural trait. Like,
Persecuted.
Oh,
Yeah.
persecuted. Maybe, but unless it's like some sort of like physical thing that makes him look like he's from that area, which then in turn brings upon that persecution.
It can
Right?
be either one. No, it can be either one. The persecution is a trait by itself, but you could also have a
Right.
trait that is persecuted.
Oh, got it.
and you guys
Practical
can.
is a character trait. With
Yeah.
practical or utilitarian, but I think I like practical for the Empire capital.
Mhm.
Yeah, so,
Okay, so we got practical for the Empire. Let me write these down.
I forgot there's a trait called Rain Man.
there's a lot of weird traits. Don't dig too
Yeah.
into them.
What does that mean?
It means you can instantly count things almost unwillingly.
Okay.
Maggot connoisseur.
Maggot connoisseur?
Mhm.
Exquisite.
That
In a hot, warm
character
place
trait
filled with
being
rubble,
what you
that
want
fits
them
way
to be.
more than I
So-
wanted.
Well, I would say maggot. To me, maggot connoisseur kind of denotes that like you don't eat good food. You don't eat fresh food.
That's fair.
So you want the
I-
maggots on your bread to be the tastiest one.
It's also probably intended to be for orcs, but yes.
I think this is one that I know I would like, but it doesn't have
is.
to be our shared one.
It
I like
definitely
the
is.
salt of the earth one.
Oh.
Okay.
That fits for the conquered region. I'm writing that down. You don't
Yeah.
have
the
to
earth.
take it. But
I don't object.
All right,
So are we
that
doing
I think-
multiple traits, or is there multiple and we're picking one, or how is that working?
We're doing two for a culture, one for
you
the
have
company.
Okay.
Yeah, so and you guys can define those two like later if you want.
Yeah.
But we have the Empire, the Conquered, and the company traits, which are
Mhm.
important to the setting.
I'm from an
I think-
unnamed far-off land that I don't really care about. I just like the idea of being the strange foreigner in the company, not so much caring about where I'm from.
Ooh, I have another one that would be good for me specifically. Oh no, wait. No. That would take my character in a different way. I was gonna think of silent hatred.
But that's not a cultural trait. That would be a really strong.
And you
fucking
can
cultural
It's a
trait.
character trait.
Yeah.
I meant story.
Well, yeah, it's a character trait, but not
Right.
all character traits are culture traits.
Right. Okay.
That just seems like a
Mm.
lot for an entire culture to have a silent.
We all
hatred.
silently hate them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Oh.
proud could be an option, but regal bearing is a character trait, and it could just be that like literally everyone from the capital, like you can just tell when you look at them.
I like that. I like.
Yeah, they've all
regal
got that
bearing.
like hooked
Yeah.
nose and angular cheekbones.
And
Yeah,
the
even-
long, broad shoulders
Yeah, let's go. Regal bearing makes the most sense.
for
All right.
another empire trait.
My third one I think is gonna be superstitious.
But not as a trait for the rebel or like the.
No,
company.
this is like his Jedi trait, basically. More cats.
And I'm thinking that the third cultural trait there might be perfectionist.
Mm.
So you think the conquered region are salt of the earth and perfectionists?
Yep.
And then my region
As in,
is
part of their
superstitious.
culture, they value doing one thing and doing that one thing really well. We are the
That's
salt of
fine.
the earth. We are
Yeah.
farmers. We are the best bread makers. And you are allowed to be the best at making an arrowhead. Find what you're the best at and do that.
Okay,
I dig it.
That sounds
Yeah.
like my hero.
I'm down.
Anyhow,
Yes, that's what I was thinking, but that's because we watched the thing. Anyways.
anyhow.
Okay, so we've got some cultural traits kicking. If you guys want to like add some for your particular regions, that's fine.
Yeah.
Moving down into the material world, can limits and restrictions on material goods make the setting more interesting?
No guns. We already talked about it.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm not saying we're going to be like post scarcity or anything, but we're talking about an evil empire.
Yeah.
They should have resources, you
Yeah,
know.
Yes.
resource. I'm not super interested in resource scarcity. It's like dealing with it. I want to deal more
Not for this one. Yeah.
figuring out our problem, finding where we stand with this moral complexity, less about like how do we survive. I don't want that to be the forefront.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if there is any restriction, it's more like because of supply lines, right? Like it
It'd be-
would eventually
yeah.
get to us.
We would feel the
But that's-
consequences of that, but more as like an intentional like you messed up, here's and the company is responding to that rather than
Yeah,
you don't have food.
yeah,
Okay. So we'll say we'll disregard that except as a consequence.
The other thing is, I think based on how advanced, how much like, I'm genuinely asking how common and how advanced are crossbows? Because I know they're more obviously like, how old are they? Do we
I
want
want
them to be
crossbows.
common? They will be a thing.
We're talking.
Do we want them to
we're
be
talking
common? And I don't know when they
of
were
a
actually invented.
timeline like just before the advent of like handguns and stuff. So,
So
Okay.
crossbows are probably.
So crossbows
Um,
would be
I think
kinda
crossbows are fairly common.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have crossbowmen. Our
Yeah.
company
Crossbows are
has-
probably the preferred weapon of the farmer because you need no skill to use them. You just point and click.
true.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
also more
farmers
expensive
and
than
rebels
bow.
may
Whereas
have
with a bow,
crossbows.
you actually need a little bit of
Yes.
skill.
Yeah, the farmers and rebels may have crossbows, but our company use like longbows, and we
Yeah, because the range. Well, crossbows.
We use
don't crossbows
slings.
high range.
That's real skill when you can
no,
that little
longbows
sling.
are farther. Longbows have
Longbows are farther than
more
crossbows?
penetration.
Really deadly.
Yeah, because you're using gravity with a crossbow, whereas with a longbow, whereas with a crossbow, you're just using whatever force you can pull on that string.
Yeah.
Beef
Okay.
scrotum, like bull scrotum. Usually, it was a big elastic band for crossbows.
Okay.
Fun fact, kids.
Scrotum
all right,
fact of the day.
moving on. Killed the mood. Thanks. All right. So, what weapons and armor are available? I think yes is just the
Yeah.
answer. You're a
The answer is
mercenary
yeah.
company.
Yeah, we're a mercenary company. I want to do the stupid like German
Yeah.
mercenary thing where I cut bits and pieces of other people's clothing off, or like the weird, colorful, like German.
You probably
baggy
like anything we
outfit.
can't buy here that's related that the mercenary company would have. We can requisition it and basically buy it.
Do we have a uniform?
I think we have a badge. And
I think we have a
banner.
like a
Like a
badge
tabard,
company.
maybe.
A tabard makes the
Definitely
most
have a
sense.
banner because I'm taking the Bannerman life path, so
Yeah.
we have a banner.
We definitely have a banner.
Yeah, you probably
Fair
have
enough.
tabards or
Yeah,
some
tabard.
identifying sigil on.
Tabard,
like-
badge, banner.
I-
Some
yeah, like
combination of the three.
something like that. Like
And
I imagine it like when you go to Target, they all just have to wear red shirts and like pants, and that's it. It's
Mm.
like that sort of thing.
What
Okay,
properties
so
so
we-
are
we have
some
an
weapons
official-
and armor?
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying we have like an official logo, and like everyone has that logo in some form on them, whether it's a tabard or like a badge or like it's painted on
Yeah.
their shield or on a banner or whatever. But everyone
Yeah.
carries the logo in some form.
Like there might be
Branding.
different companies or different like squads might have like their squad symbol, but it's always in there somewhere.
Yeah,
like
but
the company
everyone
symbol.
carries the logo in some way. Like you
Yeah.
have to identify as part of the company.
Yeah.
All right. Are some weapons and armor restricted to certain cultures or character stocks? I'm thinking that plate armor and stuff like that is probably outside the reach of the conquered region.
I think, yeah, that has to be
Probably.
shipped in from the
Mhm.
Empire and stuff like that, and it's very rare.
So like finely made weapons and armor are outside of the rebels' ability to.
And even I think the company, we can have like run of the mill arm, but we can't have like.
You wouldn't be able to
high-quality
requisition that. No, that would be like,
Yeah.
if you want
No.
something like that, go buy it yourself and
the
find
company will
somewhere to buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, the company will supply the bare minimum of supplies, and it's up to you to take what you need from the guy you just killed because.
Yeah.
The company
Yeah.
provides food
Okay.
and stuff,
Are
but not like your tools. You're because you're an employee. You're expected to bring your own
You're
tools of the
a
trade.
contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring your own equipment.
It's like you can upgrade your stuff
Yeah.
with your own money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can order through the company
what
catalog.
property is available.
Do we all just want to take? Do we all
the
just want to pay
company
rent
store.
to the company? Is that what we're
Sorry, Indigo,
We can
what
just
did you
pay
say?
rent to the company.
Or I don't think we are allowed.
I
to own
think it's
property.
actually more of a.
I don't know about that, yeah.
You sign on. Yeah, you. I think you sign on for years of service, and at the end is when you get paid because they don't want you screwing like leaving with a sack full of gold that you've saved up for 3 years.
That seems fair.
It could. What about
Like at
like
the end of your
monthly
service
payment?
for the company, you
That does make
cash
sense.
out.
And then things you buy
No.
from the company actually
I
are subtracted
think that'll
from
be a
that pay
stipend.
instead of paid then and there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think if we're part of the company, you're
Yep.
allowed to own property. I don't think we just.
I
don't
think
own
that
it.
We are the
was
property
true.
of the
I
company.
think now that we are settling down, that might be like one of the things that's being like rediscussed now. Like now we're settling down. It's gonna be expected 10 to 20 years until another war. You're kind of gonna be here for a while. If you want to buy property, I think people are pushing that maybe you should be allowed to, but I don't think you officially can yet.
I think as far as character creation, though, we don't start with property.
No.
That seems reasonable.
And I
think that's
don't
fair.
plan to.
With the
My character
exception
just
of
came
your
here.
character who's not part of,
But
the
also who just
company that we were
arrived.
talking about. Yeah. So like you may have a villa in town somewhere else, but you don't have access to it right now.
Yes.
All right. Are resources and gear otherwise restricted? I think only within the bounds of what you can requisition is the best answer for that.
Yeah, and even I don't have
Like,
that. I'd have to
if
either
you're-
get someone else to requisition it for me or find someone here who sells it locally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think resources and gear are restricted to whatever mission you're on at the time. Like if you're on something important, they're going to open up the store for you and you take what you need. But if you're just doing what you're doing right now, guarding a town, here's a little bit of money and a sword. Go do what we tell you to.
Yeah.
Well, no, here's a little bit of money. Get it done.
That's fair.
Buy your own sword.
Buy whichever thing you think will do the job. If it's a like barrel of oil and a torch, then go use that.
As far as the resource cycle, I don't even want to touch it, quite honestly.
Fair. No, that's totally fair. I'm not
Yeah.
right now.
So remind me of what the resource cycle is.
What is it?
Yeah.
So every so often there's an end of the fiscal year for Burning Wheel, and you have to test your resources to make sure you can maintain your lifestyle and your holdings and all of that. If you fail that test, you are taxed and you lose a level of resources, or several levels depending on how badly you fail. And if it goes to 0, you end up like losing your holdings, if memory serves.
Okay.
So yeah, it can be a huge pain in the ass, especially because you guys aren't going to own property, and the only way to get a resources score is with property, affiliations, and reputation.
Yeah.
Relationship.
No, I tried.
So,
it's not relationship.
Unless you purchase.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless you purchase those things specifically to get your resource score up, you're going to start with a 0.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And taxing and having a resource cycle come up when you're at 0 sucks. You have to go out and get a job to pay off your debt. It's not the story I want to tell.
Yeah, it
How
doesn't
our
really make
setting
sense that
is-
if we work for the company.
And the fact that we're higher tier than an ordinary person, I think there's no need, especially with a shorter campaign.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
The starting action.
All right, so
we
we'll
already
just skip the resource cycle. Yeah, we talked about the starting action, about the
Nine
dead
actions,
captain and
9
everything,
left.
and that brings us
Military
straight into
captain died.
character burning.
Sick.
Okay. Cool.
Homework.
Yes.
Is this a homework thing?
Well, I'm probably
I feel
gonna
like
reburn my
that we're at
character,
homework time.
which I was expecting. Well, how long? I'm good to build a character here and now. How much time do we have?
Let's,
Hi.
since we have some people that have never done it before, who has to go in the next hour and a half? Like we'll say that.
It's like midnight.
If you gave me like
Okay.
15 minutes to take out the garbage cans, like, I'd be good.
I can
Okay. We
we
don't-
rattle off. We could do a brief like summary of what character burning is. I can rattle off my life path real fast, and I can do all the fiddly paperwork later.
That makes sense. If we can talk about that quick, and then we can, if we
Yeah.
all are
And-
willing to and have time, continue to build our characters on without Indigo, and then he present his after, or how do we want to do that? Like,
I'd say actually because there's the steel and health and all those questions and stuff we have to go through. We'll make homework doing your life paths and skills.
Yeah.
okay, and traits.
And traits, and
Life
then we'll
path,
go
skills,
into
traits.
all of that stuff next time.
Okay, so
Yeah, we'll do health and steel next time. Yeah.
Mhm.
health and steel and resources. Would resources be homework or not?
Yeah, resources is homework. Here is homework.
Okay, so everything except health and steel.
Yeah, because that's just adding. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll be available through Discord if you guys have any questions. We
Yeah,
can
we
even
use the
hop
chat
on
a
and do
lot.
it together at a later time off stream if you want.
So things we do need to talk about before we kick it for tonight. 5 life paths is what we decided.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes,
I want to be
Five
very
life
clear
paths?
about exactly
Okay.
what we're doing. 5 life paths.
yeah,
I
it's
wasn't sure. It was
5 life
so
paths,
5's good.
and I would prefer. I'm not going to make it a hard line because there are some concepts that don't do it, but I would prefer if the 5th one is military.
I think.
And
the
is it good
three
if
of us
mine is not
accept-
necessarily military then with my character concept?
I think
With your
the-
concept, I think you have an exception.
I think with
okay.
the exception of Primarch, the rest of us all were
Are-
thinking that anyway.
Will be
the
in the
fifth
Yeah.
one,
military.
military.
Because I know on my last life, I think now based off of this session 0 stuff, I know what of my like 3 life path options that I set up I'm gonna do. I just need to know like how to do everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
well,
we can talk about it. We're not sure
Yeah,
when
we
we'll be
can walk you
next.
through it.
Holidays, Christmas, all that stuff. So
Well,
we
we just
will.
want to get the ball rolling on it. So we can-
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I am going to say, I do need from everybody, is Marissa off?
Marissa, are you on?
No,
scrolling.
I'm
It's just
hearing
video.
you
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Okay, you can hear me. Good.
No idea what's up, but I'm hearing everything.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
It's Discord.
Discord.
Do we want to discuss hierarchy amongst the squad? Is someone going to be in charge, or do you want to do that in play?
It could be that you guys were all directly under the leader, and so literally you guys are equals.
I think that's. I like that.
Yeah.
That's part of the tension.
There's a
is
power
Yeah.
play that the 3 of us are
within our
trying to do.
squad- Yeah, within our squad, we're all threatened by the new person coming in that's child of the old leader, and we
Yeah.
all like
We're all
like,
vying for power within the
equally
squad.
possible of being the person in charge of our immediate squad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am most likely not vying for a position of power, but I
Well,
can be threatened by its occurring.
Yeah, you may not
Mhm.
be personally interested in it, but you are technically eligible, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could see the downside in certain other people getting that power. So you might
Yes.
Because
wanna
I don't
step up
think it'll be.
yourself.
I'm guessing Zen from your GM prep, it probably won't just be those 3. Like, there's probably going to be other NPCs, at least one of them.
There. Yeah,
There's
I'm
definitely gonna
be other
picturing your
people in the
squad as
squad.
about 15 people,
Yeah.
but we're not going to name any of them. When you need them, you'll circles them up and we'll see who they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm the only
Um,
wizard though, damn it. I'm gonna kill it.
Make sure you.
There can only be one wizard.
I'm taking War Wizard for this specifically. I am the
I
wizard.
am the only bannerman in the squad, but there's
Yeah.
a dude with a crossbow.
Which leads me to my next question. I had an idea for certain duties to be assigned to certain people, like a quartermaster or chronicler, or things like that. Do we want to look at that as it would be separate from character creation, but it would be a duty of your character to perform certain acts because the company needs these types of people?
It
Like
would
what?
make sense.
Is there any story purpose?
More just the setting of the company itself. It's more the company culture that I'm trying to impart by setting these certain duties.
Yeah, let's hear the pitch.
Okay.
Like, what are the duties you were thinking?
Well, of course, there needs to be someone that chronicles what happens.
So someone needs to be able to read and write.
Yeah, and these can also be NPCs if
Yeah.
you want, if you lack the ability to do them. You need a quartermaster, someone to track your supplies and everything else. I would say a lieutenant, but since we're having a
Power
free-for-all
vacuum.
power
Yeah.
vacuum, we'll negate that one. I don't know. There's probably a couple more that I can suss out.
Mm-hmm.
It could also, maybe there was a lieutenant, but they also died. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, like a second in command also died in mine collapse. No one cares about that person. We move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story is your leadership is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I'm giving, since all of you are not technically officers, everyone gets a 1D reputation with the company.
Okay.
Officers would have two die, and the upper echelon would be 3 die.
I don't know what I want that reputation to be.
Or
It's just,
duplicate.
it's just a 1 die reputation with, what did we name this company?
The
The
Onyx.
Onyx.
The Onyx Legion. Or I'm sorry,
What do
not a reputation, affiliation.
That
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense.
I'm sorry, wrong
One die
word.
affiliation. And then we briefly talked about this as far as resources are concerned, but like the company having a 2 die fund. Like
The company will give funds to.
No, I
based
mean
on-
fund as mechanical item.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
when you are assigned a mission, you are also assigned a mission fund, and that will the size of
Yeah.
that will vary depending on the mission.
Oh no, but I was thinking having it be static as opposed to assigned each time, because the company would have limited resources on site. So we could theoretically hurt our own resources
wait,
for
what?
future missions and not have them refreshed.
Hold on.
So if the company has a 2 die fund and we end up taxing the fund, that fund will take the 1 die tax
We lost
and
Marissa
then
again.
get
And
permanently reduced
okay.
for future
think-
missions.
Okay, yeah, we'll bat that one around and figure it out.
I just like the
Yeah.
idea that we can screw over our whole mission plan by rolling poorly on resource tests that we use the company fund for.
But yeah,
Fair. Yeah, you
Yeah, I
can
just
get your
want the-
company card taken away.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you
I
have
wanna
this
be able
money,
to-
this much money for the whole year. Don't
Yeah.
mess it up.
Don't
Okay,
mess
so
it
you
up.
have
And if we
a
mess it-
squad budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
squad budget
Yeah.
as allocated by we have this squad fund that can only be used on mission shit.
Mhm.
Where do we
Which-
put that 1D affiliation? Is it under
There
relationship?
should be a spot for. It's been a while since I've actually looked at these. Give me a second. On your-
circles.
It's under
Because I
Where's it?
see relationships, which is
It's-
circles.
Yeah.
Is it just a type of relationship?
No,
There,
but
there
also
used to
that
be a spot for them.
I could check
Stock,
in the character burner
features,
thing. I don't
strengths,
see
character traits.
like
Might just have to add it in the notes: gear, possessions, and property, or note spells and other miscellanea.
That's what we did before. We put it in notes and spells.
So
Okay.
no, there's no space for it.
Yeah.
okay. So company affiliated. Well, affiliated wrong because I can't spell. And then just 1D.
Yeah, it's 1 die of affiliation. And
Yeah,
when
okay,
you're
well,
doing
one die
stuff for the company or relying on the company to like bolster you, that's when you add that in.
Yeah. So
Got
it's it also makes it super easy to circle someone up within the company.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was my main reason for doing it. Is like you would have access to the company. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we need a
Yeah.
blacksmith, it's easier mechanically for us to find the company blacksmith than the blacksmith in town.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
and that was going to be my end run around. If we just wanted to say screw resources entirely, it would be fine. Circles up someone that can do it for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
And then I think Primarch's character would also have a 1-die reputation with the company, just as son of captain or child of captain.
You
Like,
might have a
would-
reputation and not the affiliation.
Yeah, if it's 1-die, yes. I think 1-die makes sense locally only. Like, I arrived in this
Yeah.
town where,
Yeah, as
okay.
opposed to you having the affiliation like the other three of us do, you have a reputation that mechanically
Yeah.
like,
Does the
is
same
somewhat
thing, but
equivalent.
is
It
like,
doesn't do the
yeah.
same thing. It does different things, but is mechanically just as strong. So you're not like hamstrung
Yeah.
by your
Yeah.
interesting
And it makes
character
sense with,
concept.
Okay, I've added
No,
that.
that's a good call. I like that.
Cool.
So yeah, do we want to go over character burning, or do we want to just work it out and we'll go over it later?
Let's go over
I
it
think,
as
general
homework, but
question.
also helping each other online if needed.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
most definitely. My
Okay.
character's open. Like, I'll probably type it up tomorrow.
Yeah, I might do it tonight
I-
if I have time with Marissa. We'll figure it out.
If
Okay.
you're gonna do that tonight, could you do that with me also?
I will let you know. I don't know if I will. I kind of
That
partially doubt
website
it.
is super useful.
If not, Jordan,
Yeah.
you and I will get together later this week and we'll
Yeah.
bang it out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure out one. Okay. I think that's it. This was
I think
session
that's it for
0.
now.
When we
did the
meet
whole
next,
worksheet.
we
did the
will
whole
have we'll be at like session 0.9 basically. Like we'll have tiny bits
Yeah.
left to do and then we'll
0.99.
start.
You-
Also, I still advocate for the opening scene being the funeral. Even if
funeral.
we don't have the bodies, it's totally the funeral scene where we all meet. It has to be.
Okay.
yeah.
The
That's,
ceremonial like pyre lighting, but there's no body on the pyre.
Yeah, there's just like names. Well, I don't even have names because most people can't read. Yeah, it's just like a pyre, a
No, we've burned your
symbolic
shit.
pyre
Oh,
with the
We've
few
burned all your
bodies they
shit.
could recover, but like barely any.
With
What it-
no flora and wood, how valuable is wood?
No, it's not that
Good
there's no
point there.
wood.
I don't-
And there's not no flora. The pyre probably comes from the company culture, not the culture of the people we're at.
yeah.
Yeah,
Also, if
Yeah.
it's magical fire, I don't know if you need a fuel
magical
source.
fire
for
could
magical
work.
fire.
Okay, there we go.
And I think
That's
there
why
are
you need
still.
a wizard to burn the dead bodies.
I think there are still trees. They're not as common, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd also like to imagine, like, if you don't recover a body as the company, you take one of the standards, like for that. Like,
oh yeah, you'd like
detachment
plant a
and burn it.
flag for them.
Yes.
I think I've got a solution to this whole wood thing. There's not a lot of trees, but when that old god died, he imbued the wood to burn very long, like he was trying to
Okay.
keep civilization going. So he Prometheus did a bit. So like
Nice.
one good cord of wood stays burning for
Okay.
a week.
So like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
land has non-golem magical properties in small ways like that.
Addition to golem magical properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Don't mess with a wood golem. You've set it on fire, it's just gonna be a fire
Oh my
golem.
God, it becomes a
Yeah.
fire golem.
There is some wizard
I
who's
hate
made that
the fact-
mistake
I
somewhere.
Oh,
hate
yeah.
the fact I hate the fact I said golems, because now it means we have to deal with golems, but
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh
Yep,
man.
I've been taking notes the whole time. So
Yeah, that's like
Set
me
a
when
wood golem on fire. It literally become a pyre golem.
yeah,
yeah, basically.
which is that reminds me of like when I was like, yeah, no, they have like I know Cymex,
There's
they have them back
SpaceX.
around. I'm like, oh, good. Yeah,
I was like, talking to myself.
Cymex.
Mm.
What else do these Cymex have?
Yes, and that's why we do this all together, because the
Yeah.
collective ideas screw you guys more than anything I could think of.
Yep.
I mean, the collective ideas from last campaign were space elves that love barbed wire and soccer.
Yeah, it was a thing. I like
was-
it,
yep.
but
That
also
was
like
magical.
you can't explain how those pieces fit together.
No,
Nope.
No, you
Tolkien
cannot.
space elves, to be specific.
Much like now,
Lord-
no one can explain this setting because it makes no sense.
Sure.
Ruined mega medieval city with tiny cat-sized dragons and golems.
The tiny cat dragons to catch the rats, but there's also rat people.
Theoretically, there's
Rumors of
hanging
rat
in the
people.
sewer city, but no
Rat
one's
people.
ever seen them.
No.
They're like Bigfoot.
Yep. Okay.
Uh,
I'm gonna stop the stream. Anyone who's watching, thank you for watching. I will let everyone know when we're on next, but right now we have no idea when that is.
Nope.
Once the new year starts, we will really start the ball rolling and start like weekly games. Yeah.
mhm.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for watching. This was really fun. I'm really interested in the world and the premise and seeing what happens, and I'm looking forward to playing Burning Wheel. Now that I know what
I'm
I'm doing.
interesting to ruining everyone's character concepts.
Good.
But in
I just
play,
want to
not-
kill everybody.
I just want to watch the world burn. So
Actually, I don't want to kill you. I want to see you suffer.
You want to make us wish we were dead.
That is my.
Yeah.
I tried to come up with the
Bro.
concept most likely to need to stab another player character. The most likely character concept I can find to have to need to write a belief I must stab my player character friend. The company demands I stab this player character.
Yep.
insubordination is met with murder.
So,
All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys, and lady. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is awesome. I got a lot of ideas, and you're all gonna cry. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stop the stream.